Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday to you all. Probably not so happy, but happy Monday anyway. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it is. I hope it's good for you. Hope y'all are having a great start to your week and hope y'all had a great weekend as well. Time to get the week started again. Today we're talking, I know you guys are tired of hearing about it, but I can't get it out of my head. Miss Nicola Bulley and Miss Rachel Jackson. Lancashire police, what is going on over there, folks? We're going to get into it a little bit. I got some issues and I'm going to discuss them with you. Here we go. Howdy ho. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome to this April 17th of 2023. Thanks for joining me. Glad to be here with you guys. Hope you all had a great weekend. And I'm glad you guys are here to start the week with me. Good to see you. Good to be here with you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. That's why I say it like that. Whatever it is, I hope it's good for you all. Mama Bear says she's joining me. She should be along here in a few. Thank the Lord, because you know we love having her here. So let's see who else we have here with us today. Miss Brandy's in the house. Good to see you, my dear. Thanks for joining us. Crazy Cat Lady. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us today as well. Mrs. M, always a pleasure. Good to see you. Miss Pamela, good to have you here, darling. Thanks for joining us. Pookie, what's up? Good to be here with you. Miss Heather, always happy to see you. Let's see here. Again, welcome, Crazy Cat Lady. If you are new, it's so great to have you here. Welcome, guys. Make sure you welcome the Crazy Cat Lady like we do with everyone. Mr. Larry NC, what's happening? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for joining us today. I think that's it so far. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Come on in, everybody. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. You know how it goes. Come on in, sit down, have a conversation with me. I appreciate you so very much. Let's do this, folks. Transporter, what's up, brother? Thanks for joining us. Absolutely. Cat Lady, it's so great to have you here. And you are in the right spot because we do love our cats here. That's a fact. This channel is a huge cat channel or a cat fan channel. In fact, our Mama Bear, as I claim, one of her cats is our channel mascot, as I say, Little Bean. So you might get to see him. But again, thank you so much for joining us. Good golly, Miss Molly. Well, that's crazy. Good to see you, darling. It's been a while. I hope you're doing okay. Thanks for joining us today, Molly. Take your time, Pookie. Welcome, Kristen. So thanks so much for joining us today. Miss Heather, yes, thank you so much for that. Again, guys, we are about to be starting our movie nights with the True Crime Cafe here. If you want to become a member for only $2.99, that does give you the access to the movie nights. It is for members only, sadly. But most everybody's a member at this point. So Think about it. Check it out. You also get the exclusive access to the Discord that we have, where everybody in there can talk and hang out at any given time throughout the day, whether I'm here or not. So think about it. Check it out. Try it out and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Most definitely going to be a lot of fun. Miss Brandy, I can't find an anchor. Okay. Yes, this is a cat channel for sure, Larry. I mean, we are cat. Well, Miss Molly herself is a cat, guys, as I've told you. So, I mean, what does that say? She thinks she's human, but she's really a cat in real life. We know that. We love our Molly cat, that's for sure. Mama Bear said she was grabbing something to eat and she'd be right along, so should be seeing her soon. Again, guys, if you happen to see any ads, just give me a yell and say, hey, I got one. You know how that goes. Also, guys, please do me a favor on your way in the door. Leave a little DNA on the like button for me. Please do. Share this out to whoever, wherever, and however you may. Share it as far as you can. And please, at the end of the show, if you would not mind, please leave me some comments just so I know what you thought, whether you loved, hated it, whatever it was. It doesn't matter. I want to hear your comments, guys. Please let me know. Oh, we do. We do definitely love our cats here, Crazy Cat Lady. I love your name, by the way. All right, guys, come on in. Grab a seat. Get comfortable. I hope you're feeling better, Pamela. I think still getting better. I hope. Poor Miss Pamela. She's been fighting some kind of an illness here for the past week or so. Leave my glasses on again. And pumping her full of all these meds. I'm hoping they're working finally and you're feeling better, dear. I don't like when any of you guys are down and out. We got to keep Miss Pamela healthy. She's a very important part of our investigative team over there in the UK. So, got to stay healthy. Feeling lots better. Thank you. Absolutely. Great to hear that, Pamela. I'm so glad. Those steroids will really kick you in the butt once you get going through your system, They really do. Hi, Pamela. Up your end yesterday at Haverig and her Millum also dropped in at Weir. They think Nikki went in at the bench and where she was found. What a load of doo-doo. I do believe and agree with you, Mr. Transporter, as I have always said. And I know you guys are tired of hearing about this case. I know you are. And I'm sorry. I know it's driving you guys insane. I do that. I do get that. Okay. But there's things that I keep popping up with and finding that are bothering me, guys. And I'm not going to share them with anybody else but you guys. Your guys' opinions are super important to me. Therefore, that's why I share them with you. No worries, Mom Bear. Take your time. There's the link. You might have to turn it off and back on either way, but the link is right there whenever you're ready. Mama Bear is having a serious Monday. She has been all morning. I kind of am a little bit too, and that's only because it is 38 degrees here, folks. It was 87 degrees yesterday. And the weather girl, I swore at her this morning. I did. I swore at her. I was drinking my coffee. Hello, Barry. How are you doing this morning? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. She got it worked out, as she always does. She's so smart. Yeah, I swore at the weather girl. I'm drinking my coffee and I'm just doing my thing. You know how I am before my 2 cups of coffee in the morning. I'm not awake, so I'm still grumpy and I'm watching it. She pops up and she, by the way, the weather girl, the local weather girl is pregnant, like 8 months pregnant. And she's in there bebopping her baby belly around and she's all happy. And says, and today's high, guys, is going to be 43. And I went, what? Are you serious? And I'm like, you know what? You're lucky you're pregnant. I'm talking to the TV. There's nobody else around but me. I'm like, You know what? You're lucky you're pregnant because I call you all sorts of bad names right now. Blah 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 blah. And then I'm sitting there and Brandy calls me and she's like, "What are you doing?" I said, I just cussed out the television." She goes, why?" I said, most definitely the weather girl mostly." And she goes, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because it's going to be 40 some degrees today and the sun is there, but not there at the same time." She goes, "Yeah, I know, but you're talking." She goes, "Okay, you're spending too much time home alone. Like you need to do something." I said, "Okay, yeah, you're probably right." But I was just irritated. It was 87 yesterday. It was beautiful out. It was sunny all day long, and here we are. You know what I mean? I,
Yep.
I
I
swear
saw
to.
it say the S word, and I was like, nope, I'm tired. I
Oh
didn't
yeah, I
right.
heard it too. They said it's not going to stick, but you may see some flurries today. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to know about it. I'm done with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
82. I don't want to hear it, Brandy. I don't want to hear it. You know what it is? I think we got spoiled for those of us up here up north, and we got some really good weather for about a week. Okay, we were all very happy. We all got spring fever, and now we're right here. Well, we're gonna watch it again, Crazy Cat Lady, because that's kind of what we're talking about a little bit today. We're not gonna watch the exact same thing, but we're talking about it. I got some stuff to throw at you guys today that really, really piqued my interest, thanks to Mama Bear. She threw it on my way, and I went and watched it, and yep, uh huh, mm-hmm. Interesting, very interesting to say the very least.
Yeah.
By the way, Crazy Cat Lady seems to be new, Mama Bear, so welcome her, please. And
Welcome, crazy cat lady.
this is my lovely co-host, Miss Cat Lady, the Mama Bear. So there you go. You are introduced. Okay, making sure I didn't miss anything. I am telling you now, if Nikki went in at the bench, well, she didn't. She didn't transport her. I'll argue with them face. I'll fly over there and stand in their face and argue with them. She didn't go in at the bench. I know she didn't. This stuff irritates me so bad. Like I said, I know you guys are tired of hearing about this case. I am tired of talking about it. I'm tired of hearing about it myself, but I cannot let these things come in front of my face and pass me by without going, nope, come on, let's talk about that because it just drives me nuts. Everybody that's been with me for a while, you know that I cannot let things go until I have to let things go. And I don't have to let this go, so we're not letting it go yet. Now, if you guys all say, you know what, Dago, I'm tired of hearing your mouth. Stop talking about this, or we're never coming back. Then I'll let it go. But you know how that works. So it is what it is. It's just honestly, guys, I don't like. I have a huge issue with. How can I put this? Oh, I'm sure you are, Pamela.
Right.
I'm absolutely sure you are. You have to live there. I get it. You have to live there and deal with all this crazy shit. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'm sorry that you have to hear it in here too because you live it every day. So my apologies go to you specifically. Um what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought again. I cannot remember. Oh, um the one thing I have issues with is and that's whether it's here or over the pond. It doesn't matter to me. Here, UK, Italy, I don't care where it's at. I don't like um when law enforcement is not forthcoming and they're not 100% honest. I have issues with that. And in some senses I understand why they aren't. I get it. But still like some of this stuff is just crazy, guys. Okay, Pookie, take your time. I just want the truth to be out there. I want well, both of the all of the cases. I want everybody that goes through this stuff. The families deserve to have the correct answers for things. They deserve to know the truth about what's going on. And that's my biggest spip with this is that it needs to be put out there like that. You know what I mean? And that's why I will not let things go all the time because it drives me nuts. So it's a thing for me. I'm sorry. I say these names in my sleep. You know that
I don't doubt it.
I do. I have not. My wife has told me, my son has told me, like, why are they're like, you're talking about Kylie Rodney and Summer Wells and Nikki Bulley and all these names in your slate. And I'm like, is it that bad, really? I wake up thinking about this stuff and go to bed thinking about it, you guys. I really do. It's I don't know. Maybe I need to start a cooking channel. How's that sound?
Maybe.
Yeah, no. My wife would kill me. She would kill me. So let's see. We got, come on. Where's everybody at? Come on in here, guys. I agree with you on that. That is, I heard about that too. Pamela, she says, I find it disgusting to have security patrolling a cemetery. That is ignorant.
Why are they patrolling a cemetery?
Because people won't leave it alone. They're going in and taking pictures and doing this and doing that. And it's like, come on.
Jeez.
Cool. Let it be.
Yeah.
As far as that goes, leave her alone. Let her rest in peace as much as she can and let that be. That's ignorant.
Yeah.
That's one thing I definitely don't agree with. I saw an article about that, and then they were showing a couple pictures about it, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. That's just ignorant. Completely ignorant. And then you have the other side of us out here who are going out and doing their things in the field, and they're driving people nuts with it and doing this and doing that. And it's like, that's not the way we do this, guys. Not at all. If we're trying to help or we're trying to do, how can I put it? Something to, as I say, be the voice for the voiceless or whatever. When a case is not cut and dry, when it should be the way it should be, and that's where we kind of step in and try to do something to help a little bit. But some of these people, if it's cut and dry what it is, they're still going along and doing what they're doing, and you know what I mean? It's just like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, transporter. That was my biggest last time I was live. I believe it was Saturday. We talked about it. And again, Pamela, I'm sorry you have to go through that, hon. I really am. I know we all are. I'm no detective, but you can see when their Willow would have been found out. Right. I stressed that Saturday, as close as they were, and I even brought up the whole tennis ball scenario that stopped, and Emma herself said that because they stopped it because she was shoved up Nikki's butt basically all the time, and things like that. So I can't imagine her going in the river without that dog going in behind her. So I agree with you 100% on that one, transporter. Pamela says, agree. And my main worry is police took the word of a woman who does not know what he is at or where he is at. I agree with you on that one. We're talking about Ron. That's a whole different story. Part of what my problem is today that we're talking about is Becky Smith, who was the lead investigator that popped up, as I said the other day, after we asked repeatedly where the lead investigator was on this case. Well, I'm going to get into it in a minute. Now, I'll explain to you why, the way my mind works. You guys know I get a little intricate with things, and I like to tear everything down piece by piece and then try to put it back together so it would make sense better. But this time, I don't know. I got issues, and we're going to talk about it. Her phone was a plant on the bench, as an easy find for someone. 100%. Thank you, Pamela. And see, guys, like I said, in the very beginning of this, Miss Pamela even thought that she went in the river accidentally or whatever, and that everything was the way they made it look to see. And at this point now, she even sees that there's something not right, guys. And again, it bothers me. And here, I'm going to start this conversation off with, as we all know, this was not looked into as a criminal investigation, okay? Okay, we know that. The bench area, all of that stuff there, nothing was cordoned off. There was no crime scene. There was no nothing. In turn, it's not a crime. If there's no crime scene, It's not being looked at as a crime. There's no criminal aspect to it. It's not a crime. So therefore, why do we need specialized, quote me saying this too, by the way, specialized police officers involved in this if it's not a specific crime? Now I'm going to explain that here in a few minutes, okay? Pamela said, I still believe she fell into the river, but not where stated. Absolutely. And I respect that 100%, my dear. I absolutely do. Security is to stop someone digging up the truth if someone would try. I can see that happening too. That has happened over here. And welcome, Broadmoor. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us Friday night, by the way. It was good to have you in there. Thank you. And I've had people argue with me through DMs because I still feel that entire scene was staged with the phone and all that. And they're like, yeah, but she was on a work call, so on and so forth. I said, okay, well, if it was staged, how'd that happen? I said, because it was probably scheduled. There was no video. There was nothing. And if they called into her, the phone was answered and sat down. All she was doing was listening. There was no conversating. So that's very easy to do, or vice versa. They could have called into it from their end of it, knowing that was something that was going to happen. Either way, it still can be done. That's my point. I believe that she was dropped way after the fact. And I feel that way too. I feel like she went into the water the day before she was found. Close to the day before, maybe. And again, guys, understand something in here for those of you that are newer. We don't have to agree on our theories, thoughts, opinions, any of this. And we're still a family in here, guys. We're going to be able to disagree without issue. I don't expect anybody that comes in here to agree with anything I'm saying. You can absolutely have the opposite theory of me. I still respect you. I still want you here. I'm not going to run you off because of that. I don't want anybody to ever think that's newer coming in here. The rest of you guys know that, but that's what this is all about. And that's how we do the things we do. So anybody that's newer, I just want that to be known that it's not like that in here at all. And nobody's ever going to look down on you because of an opinion you have or thoughts that you have, any kind of theory you put out there. Nobody's going to look down on you. I'll even listen to you talking about aliens landing and taking somebody away and doing this and that. If you want to talk about it, bring it out. I'll listen to you. And everybody's going to respect your opinion here because that's who we are. So no worries. My suspicions got aroused on the night before. That's right. That's what got me. Like I said, I tried to believe police because I do that, guys. I want them to be telling us facts. I want them to be doing their job and serving and protecting per se. I get it. You know what I mean? I want them to do that. So therefore, I try to believe. In this case, I can't. I just can't. It happens. What happens, Molly? Oh, I missed up there. I'm sorry, Pamela. I missed this one too. Broadmoor. Yeah, all these ruddy dog walkers wish they would shift up to the loon and find the poor boy missing from December. Good point. That's a good point. There's a lot of that going on over here too, guys. A lot. I love you, Molly. It happens. Aliens. I love it. I do. You're awesome. Where'd you? Oh, there you are. I was getting ready to say, where'd you go?
I pulled the turtle out of the tank and put her in a big box, and the kids were a little concerned, so I went to check on her.
I didn't even know you had a turtle.
Hold on a second.
No, take your time. Do what you got to do.
She's okay.
And again, Rachel Jackson, her name is up there too because they're going to be starting the, from what I understand, the inquest into what went on with her. It was stated that she supposedly unalived herself, and I'm getting reports all over the place that that's not what happened. So, we got to look into things and figure things out on that end. But most of my conversation is in regards to Nikki's case and certain things with Lancashire police. So there's a lot going on with them, by the way, you guys. I watched a story that brought out maybe two or three different Lancashire PCs, police constables, that are in trouble for dishonest acts and things like that. I mean, it happens everywhere, but it just makes you wonder, like, what's the deal, you know? So we're gonna be talking about that too. Just kind of trying to wait for more peeps to jump on in here with us. That's about it. So, did you have a good rest of your weekend, Mama Bear?
Too fast.
Mm-hmm. It did go by very fast. I am making today, everybody, since we always end up talking about food while we're waiting. I took of course, we have ham for Easter, and I told you my daughter had the voucher, whatever they give her at work to get a ham. So we got a pretty good sized ham, and it was semi-boneless. The bone running through the back side of the shank on it. I always save that, and I make soup out of it, bean soup, bean and ham soup.
Mm-hmm.
So today, being cold and dreary and crappy, I said this is a perfect day for it. Yeah, so I got the bone out of the freezer and wrapped it, and I got what's left of our ham. That's all get chopped up, and I started making bean and ham soup. So
cool. I haven't made that in a long time.
Oh my God, Pamela, nobody in this house will eat it either. And I haven't had it since my grandmother died. We call it, well, pea and ham is amazing. But split pea soup is what it's called. And nobody likes it. I love it. Nobody likes it. It does not get made. It does not get bought. I don't get it. So I love it though. But we're doing, what kind of beans are they? Come on. They're not. They're the little white ones, which doesn't help anybody.
I think of the name of them either right off the top of my head.
They're not navy beans. They're something. I'll think of it here. But anyway, those are the beans. I got 2 pounds of those, the dry beans, the bone, the ham, carrots, paprika, some other seasonings. I'm not telling nobody because my soup is good.
Are they northern beans?
That's it. Thank you. Great northern beans. Those are it. Yes. Yeah. They're good too. I like those. I like navy beans. I'm not a big fan of the brown ones. What the hell are they called? Here we go. I can't think of what they're called. What'd you say?
Kidney beans or different?
No. I mean, I like those in chili, but not. There's another one. They're little browns, like. Damn it! I know what they're called. Garlic and honey, huh?
Ew.
Molly, what in the pinto? Thank you, Molly. Yes, I'm not a big fan of those in soup. They're good by themselves and for like refried beans, but not in soup. But what do you mean garlic and honey? That sounds gross.
Right. I sent you an email picture of the turtle.
Oh, cool. So we got a cat and a turtle as a mascot. That's cool.
We have 2 cats, 2 hamsters, a turtle, and albino catfish. There might still be goldfish in the backyard pond.
An albino catfish? I've never seen one of those. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Our tank's really dirty.
Go get a drink. That's twice in a row now. Go on.
No.
Do I have to remind you to drink water every day? Why are you lagging? Don't you dare. Don't start. We're not playing today. I'm not playing. Oh my God. Here we go. I don't want to play. I'm busy. No.
Oscar.
No.
Good boy.
I won't do it. Oh, hush your mouth. Whatever. He likes to argue. You're too old to argue. Oh, quit it. And a partridge in a pear tree. Molly, you put honey and garlic and bean soup? That's I do garlic powder, and sometimes I'll mince garlic in it a little bit. I do garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of celery salt. We do carrots, and then the paprika at the. I don't know if you guys have ever had like Campbell's bean with bacon soup. Um, it's really good. But that if you put paprika in with all of that, sometimes I'll put chopped bacon in there too. It tastes just like Campbell's bean with bacon soup. My mother-in-law does that all the time. Hers is really good too. So it's good. And I use like a powdered chicken bouillon, like a to make a chicken broth, and that's part of my base for it. And you would never know. It gives it a really good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Beans and ham. I can't, Molly. I cannot put honey in there with that. It just doesn't fit for me. Ugh. I mean, I'll trust that it tastes good, but it's hard for me. So we'll have that, and either if I can talk her into it, my mother-in-law makes the very best homemade cornbread I've ever had in my life. Mhm. And she'll make it in the iron skillet, the old, because she's from down south. It's oh my god, you guys, it is so damn good. But if I can talk her into it, I'm gonna have her make that to go with the soup, and it'll be all set. My daughter makes homemade butter, okay, um, and she makes three different versions of it that it's so good. But she makes a homemade salted butter, and we have some of that left from Easter. So with the soup, if I can get her to make the cornbread with the homemade butter, I am going to be in heaven tonight. I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
I'm just so excited for it. My mouth is actually watering right now. Well, if the ham you made is a honey glazed, we don't do that. I mean, I could see that. That makes sense. Yeah, I get that now. But we don't do the honey thing. My wife does some kind of a well, she does it two different ways. She makes this mixture with mustard and some other spices and stuff, and she'll rub the whole ham with that, and then we put it into the one of those big electric roasters, and then we just cook it all day. Um, or the other way she could do it is she'll take I can't remember what seasoning she puts over top of it first, and then she'll dump like maybe a beer over top of it, which pulls all the salt out of it, and it's pretty good that way too. I've had honey glazed ham. It's not bad. I don't mind it. It's not my favorite, but that does make sense, Molly. Why are you making the faces like oh? What's the faces for? She's like oh. Shame on you, Dago. I do mine with clove and honey. Yeah, my mom used to do that with the cloves and all that stuff. Clove and honey, and sometimes she'd put like the maraschino cherries in there too. See, I'm not a big fan of. This is gonna sound really bad when I say this. I know it, but I'm not a fan of sweet meat. I knew that was gonna sound bad as soon as I said it, but I just don't like it. See, she knows what's good. I know. Listen, the mustard, you don't taste the mustard. It does something to the ham. It's crazy. Pinky, what's up? Making a soup out of leftover ham with potatoes in it. Delish. I never thought. Oh yeah, I've done that before too with potatoes. Never thought to have cornbread. You have to have cornbread. You have to have
cornbread. Oh yeah.
It's
beans without cornbread. That's just
it's against the law, isn't it? Against the law?
I think so.
You better be careful, Pink. You might get arrested for that one. Not doing it. I'm just saying that's part of life. I see. I knew it. Molly Dago don't like sweet meat. Yes, you got me. I'm never gonna hear the end of that. I didn't know any other way to put it. Apple pie and donuts must be the half Canadian in me. I gotcha. No worries. That sounds great, Broadmoor. No, I don't like chicken that has been sweetened. I don't like beef that has been sweetened. I definitely don't like ham. I'm just not one of them people that likes sweet meat, as I said. There's no other way to say it.
Really not.
Not even responding to that, Molly. I'm not responding to that. I'm not going to get hooked into this little thing here. I've already ruined myself for the day. And with that comment going into that, we're not doing it. I'm just not putting it out there like that. I don't. It's. I do like it salty. Shut up, Molly. I'm not even going there. Quit. What about sweet sauces on me? Not really. What's up, Mikey? Thanks for joining us, bro. Maybe I knew he was somebody. You guys are a mess. I'm not falling into this. The only sauces I like, sweet wise, actually, I don't like any of them that I can think of. Well, teriyaki, I kind of like. Teriyaki has a little bit of a tinge of sweetness to it, but that's the closest I'll get to it. I don't. I'm more of like a spicy type thing or nothing at all. So I can't stand when people put like steak sauce on their steaks. Barbecue, yeah. Okay, you got me. You're right, Heather. I forgot about barbecue sauce. I do like barbecue sauce. Holiday sauce. Hollandaise. I've never really had that too much. I don't think I ever had it, to be honest with you. Pink and Mike. Mike and Pink. Good to see you, bro. I do like barbecue sauce. Yes, you got me on that one. I was trying to think. I kind of figured out what you were saying. Oh, check that out, folks. Turtle boy.
Say hi, Sandy.
He's not hiding.
Hi.
Let me see his shell, the top of his shell, Mama. Oh, okay. We had one once that he was a specific type of turtle, and his shell had a really cool design on top of it. It was real bright. I can't think of the name of it. He's pretty good sized. He doesn't seem real nervous either.
Well, I think just because I'm usually here with her and she hears my voice, she's calm.
Okay.
But like as soon as I leave the living room, they say that she starts freaking out. But as soon as I walked in there, she was just all calm.
Okay. How old is she?
Oh my gosh. 7, maybe? 8?
Okay. Heather, you want to snuggle a turtle? How the hell do you snuggle a turtle?
She's usually in her tank in water all the time. So we're trying to get her out for a little bit and get used to it.
Look at her. She knows your voice, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go back. Okay.
She's cute. I had a red-bellied tree frog. Aren't those poisonous, Molly? A red-eared slider turtle. Caca. Very slowly. Yeah, I'm thinking that. You'd have to do it slowly because you ever get hooked by a turtle before? It hurts bad. Especially, I think they're called snapping turtles that have that beak that comes out and it kind of goes under. You ever get that on your arm or something? Dude, that hurts bad. A littler if you touch them, but I was used to it. Okay. You leave me alone, sweet meat. All right, Heather, you got me there. That was funny.
Goodness, what Heather do now?
She said, "You leave me alone, sweet meat hater." Oh my God! Yes, right. Yeah, my buddy got clipped right there too, right here. He was holding it. He was looking in its face, and it was inside its shell, and he was like going like this, and whoop, cha, and it stuck, and he was hanging from his face. The turtle was only like this big, and he's screaming like a girl, and I'm like, "What do you want me to do? I'm not doing nothing." He goes, "Get it off," and I'm like, I grabbed the shell, and I'm going, and he's like, "No, stop," and I'm like, "Okay, what then?" And his wife come running outside, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "That's your boy. Look at him. I mean, he's turning in circles and jumping up and down." I don't know what she did, but she walked over and she did something like right here on the turtle's neck, and it released immediately. And he was like, and he had a hole. He was bleeding. He had a hole right there because It's got that little hook underneath its beak thing, you know. What's up, Kim? We are talking about turtles. Miss Gina. Welcome back,
I'm
Miss
with
Gina.
you.
Good to see you. And I'm sure you walked into a weird conversation. Oh my God. All right, guys. Give me 1 second, Mama. I got to put him outside. I think he's freaking out. I'll be right back.
All right. Hey, Gina. Hope you had a good vacation. Yeah, my husband's nephew found her on sidewalk, I believe, and she was like the size of a quarter when he found her, and he kept her and everything. And as he got older, he got, bored with her and got tired of taking care of her. And my husband was over at his house and saw that she was in a tank that she was outgrowing. It was too small for her. And her water was gross and everything. So he came home and he was like, told me about it. And I was like, yes, you can bring the turtle home. So we brought her home, and it's been probably 7 years ago. She's big. She's a sweetheart, though. So sweet. I sound poppy. I'm not sure. Well, hold on a second. Let me check something. Be right back.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, does that sound any better? I guess there was when I was talking.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of static with it. You got it. You got it good now. Sounds good
Because
now.
I don't hear you.
You don't hear me? Can you hear me now?
Why can't I hear you? Oh, this
Hello?
day, I swear. Hold on.
Okay. Welcome, Miss Karen. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here. Thank you, Heather. I was wondering what VAC was. Oh, okay. Jiffy. I like both. I'll be honest with you guys. Welcome, Gina. It's good to see you. I hope your vacation was awesome. I like Jiffy because it's kind of sweet, but the homemade, it's not sweet at all, but it just has some kind of a taste to it. I love it. And it goes really good with chili, any kind of beans or anything. It really does. Well, that's good. Thank you, Karen. It's good to have you here, by the way. Thanks for joining us. Where the heck is everybody else? I don't understand. We usually have quite a few more people than this, but
Okay. I
so
can
be
hear
it.
you now. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, I can.
Is there still static, popping, crackling?
No, nope. You're clean and clear as always.
All right.
Oh, wait. Now I can't see you. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that to you today. You are having the day.
Yeah, and I got 20 minutes till I gotta go get my daughter. So
That's my fault. Well, really, it's not, but I know. I had to go late today, by the way, guys. We had rain and storms here. I dropped another tree, and of course, my lovely internet was out. So I'm surprised it's back on. I'll be honest with you. So it is what it is. So again, guys, to jump into what we were kind of talking about, I know you guys. I follow and support 100% the channel Mind Juice. You guys remember we had watched some of his stuff before. I like the way he covers things. I like a lot of his theories and things and stuff like that. So he has been he's been gone for a while. He hasn't been around for, I'm going to say, at least 2 weeks, maybe a little bit more.
mm-hmm.
Kids don't go back to school. Wow, your kids are still out of school? That's a long vacation. So he put a video out, and that's kind of where we're talking about. And we're going to review that along with why I wanted to do this. Because, once again, I learned some things I didn't know. And it makes me wonder something. So, thank you, sir, for putting out your new video. I wish I could get a hold of this guy. I really want to talk to him. It's very hard to get any response from him, though. He's either super busy or I don't know, but thank you, Heather. Anybody that would be interested in, if you feeling generous, please be sure to tip our lovely co-host, Mama Bear. Anything's appreciated. There are the links for her Cash App and PayPal, and you all know she deserves it more than I do for sure. So, all right, guys. Let me get this up here for you guys. Show you what I'm talking about. Now, he brought up some things that, like I said, I kind of wondered about it. We really didn't know what was going on with it. We don't get any information when it comes to that kind of stuff because they don't have to give us that kind of information. So, and I respect that, especially the way that they handle. I get that the UK doesn't like to put things out like the US does to cover the integrity of the case, to keep it, with whatever they're doing. But this situation was weird to me because this was not treated as a criminal investigation. Am I wrong by saying that, by the way?
Mm-mm.
There was never, right. There was never a criminal element put into this case, right?
Right. Because at the beginning, they said there was no foul play.
There were no third parties involved. There was no foul play, right or wrong?
Right.
Right. Okay. There was never a crime scene set up. There was never anything in that sense. I mean, the police do what they do, but it was never brought up. So then what I want to know, and I'm going to show you this. Why do you have a police officer, a police detective that is a detective of special operations involved in this?
Mm-hmm.
It deals with special situations, special types of cases. You don't need that, right?
Right.
Okay.
We had talked about that at one point because we were like, we only seen her like once. Why? Mm-hmm. And as soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And then I fell asleep.
Yeah, so you know where I'm at with this one. And when you sent me that, I'm like, that's why this morning I said, after I watched it immediately because you know how I am. But
yeah,
I'm like, what was your take on this? But you said you fell asleep. And I'm like, you need to watch it back because it's like, what is the point behind this? That right there is what tells me something is different with between that and the fact that there's no autopsy back. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dumb people here, okay? And we have ex law enforcement officers and people that are involved in different things and that know things about this stuff. You can't pull the wool over people's eyes for that long. Welcome back, Pamela. You just got dark, Mama Bear.
I did.
Yeah, you're there you go.
Better.
Yes, that was weird. Yes, welcome back, Pamela. Thanks for coming back. So, yeah, that one. As soon as I started watching that, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, something is not right with that. So I want to know why, and I'm gonna show this to you guys. And again, I want your opinion. That's why we do this. Because it just doesn't make any kind of sense. I mean, it does if you're looking at it from the aspect that I am. And the way that I've been showing you guys, of course it makes sense. So then tell us that. Don't try to hide behind it, and don't try to not tell us the truth about it, because nobody is stupid enough to go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." No, it doesn't. So,
Right.
I mean, I hate to sound that way, you guys, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. Kim, you're right. They think we're just going to give up and, just not care, but they're wrong.
Into current inquest processes.
Hi, Sammy.
Say that one more time. You went robotic. It was probably my end of it.
Oh,
there she is.
I said, Kim,
What's up,
you're
Sammy?
right.
Good to see you, dear.
They think that we're just going to give up and, not care, but they're wrong, because that's not going to happen.
Kim, I'm glad you said that, because it's not even that they think that we're going to give up. They want us to give up and stop thinking about it, stop worrying about it, and leave it alone and move on to whatever else we're going to go do. And then things can just move on with what they wanted to. It doesn't happen that way over here. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It does not at all. So this is important to me, you guys. When I watched this, I watched it on my phone. It was sent to, like I said, Mama Bear sent it to me this morning. And I start watching, and I'm sitting there going, really? You know what I mean? One of them faces, and it's like, oh shit. Hey, well, thanks for putting that out there now. And like, that's why I like Mind Juice, because he really finds the things that we're looking for. To be honest with you, he does every time. And I want to talk to this guy and let him know how much we support him, because, or at least that I do. I can't speak for all of you, but I know I do.
Right.
And I really do. I'd love to get him on here with me at the same time and do a show together with him, because I think that we're in the same book, in the same chapter, on the same page with everything. And seriously. So that's right, Sammy. We don't give up, nor do we forget. And that's the other side of things.
Nope.
I don't remember what I did this morning. Okay. A lot of times I forget conversations about that. That's due to this stupid surgery I had. I'm telling you, though, when I get into these cases, I'll remember a case from 12 years ago if I have to, because that's just how this is with me. Yeah. I may forget to brush my teeth or tie my shoes or something. Well, I don't forget to brush my teeth, but you know what I mean? Tie my shoes or do something stupid like that. But this stuff, no, it just doesn't happen. And we're not going to forget either, because it's that important to me. So,
right.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. Again, thanks for joining us, Sammy. It's good to see you. 17 people here now. Again, hit that like button, guys. For those of you that are jumping in here now, leave a little DNA for me. Share it out, please. And don't forget to leave me a comment afterwards, because I love to read them. I try to respond to all of them. If I don't, Mama Bear usually does, or Miss Heather might, but you're going to get responded to. I know, Kim. I know. I knew when I said that was dumb, but I'm sure I'll be getting trolls. That's why your breath smells like it does now, or something stupid. That's what they do. Whatever. Did you get your computer thing fixed, by the way? Your monitors? No.
I have them both working, but they're identical.
Okay. I know how to fix that. I can't do it right now, but I know how to fix that. I had that problem too, but I can show you.
Okay.
It's not too hard. It's literally just a button click. But when I first started doing the dual monitor thing, I went through all of that. It was a pain in the rear. It really made me mad too.
But the stuff that I can do, like I said in Discord this morning, the stuff that I can do with tech, hooking up the computer tower to our regular TV screen along with the PlayStation 4 and whatever else tech stuff I can do, but I can't set up 2 monitors. Ah!
It's because you're making it harder in your mind than it actually. It's too easy. That's why. It's literally just a setting and boom, and you're done.
Yeah,
And
I
you're
feel
probably just overthinking it, honestly.
probably.
Yes, thank you, Heather. Again, real quick, guys, before I get into this, tonight, Monday night, we are going to be going over episode 21.
Yes.
The true story behind the movie Wonderland, which in some senses is a backstory on Mr. John Holmes. Actually, for those of you that didn't see the movie, it's a pretty good movie, and the story is very interesting. I'll be honest with you. Good morning, Kiki, or afternoon. I'm sorry. Grandbaby's time with the husband. You're at work. No worries. You don't have to apologize. You know that. It's great to have you here. Good to see you.
Hi,
We haven't
Kiki.
really gotten into anything, so you didn't miss much. Just my babbling, as I always do. All right. Again, guys, let me know how the audio is. Let me give you some subtitles just in case you can't understand what she's saying. All right. Now, this is, if I understand correctly, I think this is. No, Kim, it's not. I wouldn't do that to you, like not at all.
No.
No, it's not. It's about this, not the story of his career, but what he was doing in his real life outside of his career. Okay, it's basically about drugs and so on and so forth. And no, I'm not going to do that to you guys. Yeah, we're going to do porn tonight, guys. No, I wouldn't do that. Jeez. Yeah, I'm really trying to push this channel, guys. Let's do this. Right. That's great.
Alrighty
God,
then.
I love it. So this video this is Becky Smith. Okay, she was the quote unquote lead investigator on Nicola Bulley's case. So this video that we're watching is a what they call a come on, I just had the word on the tip of my tongue. When you're trying to convince people to come work for you or join your no, like to join something and you're trying to advertise it to make it seem so great for them.
Oh, recruiter?
Recruit shit. Yeah, thank you. It's a recruiting video is what this was. Okay. So she's explaining who she is, what she does, how long and all that. And you need to listen closely to what she says about who she is. And as you're hearing it, think about the case. That's all I got to say. Everything okay?
I don't know the kid.
What was that?
It was one of my kids. I don't know.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Love it. Never a dull moment on either side of our side.
No, there's not.
Ever. Never. All right, guys, here we go.
Responsibility for the Force Serious Crime Team, responsible for serious and organised crime, and also the online child abuse investigation team.
Hold on. That was jumped up a little far. Let me back that up so you get it all. Actually, I think that's where it starts. So I'll fill it in if you don't get it all. Sorry.
So I have two completely different departments. So the first, OCATE, which is our online child abuse investigation team. On the other hand, the serious crime team oversees the forced response to the investigation of serious organised crime. So this is a covert department of highly specialised officers with a variety of
Covert. Remember that, please.
different specialisms. For example, digital media investigators, we have analysts, and we have a huge team of officers, not a huge team, but a team of officers that are surveillance trained. So on a day-to-day basis, they deal with a variety of different offences, but are absolutely the high end of serious crime across the force. So I've worked in the police now for 26 years, and I've been a detective for the last 20 years. I've worked in a variety of departments, whether that be the mainstream CID offices, where the day-to-day business that you're dealing with is reactive, so you're reacting to calls from the public and dealing with incidents such as rapes, serious offences, burglaries and robberies. I've also worked on the force major investigation team, where you investigate homicides, but my passion really is for the area that I'm in at the moment, which is covert policing. This is a specialist area which enables you to gain knowledge and experience of some really high-end tactics that aren't visible to the eye, that the public wouldn't see. It all happens in secret, if you will, and we get some really good opportunities to go on training courses and get experience that you wouldn't ordinarily get. It's a real challenge to gather evidence in relation to these serious offences, and there's no better satisfaction of investigating those really high-end criminals that.
Now, if you guys are noticing, there's certain words that are being typed out in bold letters that are showing up on the screen. Those are the words that he and I both at this point want you to pay attention to, which is why it caught my attention. So just understand that.
Can be perceived to escape justice. And by putting together the teams working all sorts of different tactics, you do get some real good satisfaction from the significant sentences that these type of criminals that are operating at the absolute high end of our society eventually get when they are taken to justice and sentenced at court.
Hello all, and welcome back to Mind Juice. Wow, it feels so sweet to be back with the Mind Juice family. I miss you all.
Guys, real quick, if you guys haven't checked out his channel, please do. Heather, could you put his link in for me, hun? It's called Mind Juice True Crime. You can't read the words. The bigger words that are popping up on screen, Kim, or the smaller ones? I know the smaller ones are hard to see because of the background and it's overlaying the words, but I'm sorry about that part. The bigger ones pop up in the middle of the screen when he says it. I'll play it back real quick, but if we could put his link up there, guys, if you haven't checked him out, if you're, I would really suggest it to run over, subscribe to him and see smaller. Yeah, no, I understand. I am having a problem with it too. I can't change anything about it, unfortunately. It's just the way the background and the words overlay the background, sadly. So my apologies, Kim. Right. Exactly. That's my problem too. I can't change it or nothing. I tried the first time I was looking at it to see if it would do it, and it won't really do it. But the bigger ones that pop up in bright colors, they're easy to see. But yeah, guys, go over there and show a little love. Subscribe to Mind Juice. He's got some good insight, some good information, just very informative altogether, and it makes sense. So gotcha, Kim. So definitely check him out, guys, if nothing else. Anyway, I'm going to play this back again and see if it helps, but
My name's Rebecca Smith. I am a Detective Chief Inspector with Lancashire Constabulary. Currently, I have responsibility for the Force Serious Crime Team, responsible for serious and organised crime, and also the Online Child Abuse Investigation Team. So I have two completely different departments. So the first, OCATE, which is our Online Child Abuse Investigation Team. On the other hand, the Serious Crime Team oversees the force response to the investigation of serious organised crime. So this is a covert department of highly specialised officers with a variety of different specialisms. For example, digital media investigators, we have analysts, and we have a huge team of officers, not a huge team, but a team of officers that are surveillance trained. So on a day-to-day basis, they deal with a variety of different offences, but are absolutely the high end of serious crime across the force. So I've worked in the police now for 26 years, and I've been a detective for the last 20 years. I've worked in a variety of departments, whether that be the mainstream CID offices, where the day-to-day business that you're dealing with is reactive, so you're reacting to calls from the public, dealing with incidents such as rapes, serious offences, burglaries and robberies. I've also worked on the force major investigation team, where you investigate homicides, but my passion really is for the area that I'm in at the moment, which is covert policing. This is a specialist area which enables you to gain knowledge and experience of some really high-end tactics that aren't visible to the eye, that the public wouldn't see. It all happens in secret, if you will, and we get some really good opportunities to go on training courses and get experience that you wouldn't ordinarily get. It's a real challenge to gather evidence in relation to these serious offences, and there's no better satisfaction of investigating those really high-end criminals that can be perceived to escape justice. And by putting together, the teams working all different aspects, you do get some real good satisfaction from the significant sentences that these type of criminals that are operating at the absolute high end of our society eventually get when they are taken to justice and sentenced.
Thank you, Pamela.
Hello, all, and welcome back to Mind Juice. Wow. It feels so sweet to be back with the Mind Juice family. I miss you all. I hope everyone is grand and that this coming together, reconvening, once again, finds you well. Let's get into it. First off, I have not gone anywhere, changed my theory, backed down, and or wavered in my persistence toward Nicola's truth one iota. To those of you whom have sent me messages expressing concern, thank you, sincerely. Sure, I may have been absent longer than typical. I think it's a little over 2 weeks now. But don't let that fool you. This is real stuff. Sometimes it takes a little time to ensure this is not lost or rejected from the actual truth. I'll explain more as we go along here today. Just know I have remained deeply engaged, continuing to study, research, and dig. And boy, oh boy, do I have some juice for you here today. Buckle up. Now, briefly, a chief reason I waited a little while longer to check in was due to myself awaiting to hear back from a close source from over there across the pond to give me confirmation on a particular line of intuition I have developed over the recent approximate month. I won't get all the way into it, although I know most want me to explain detail by detail. I 100% that. But I can't, so to say. Please understand, someday, once the veil is raised, I will be more than happy to share. So, to those involved in the official games and narrative spinning, tuning in right now, listening to this, because I know you are, yes, you, although you may not be aware I am on to you or perceive that I even realize now who you are or affiliated with. Hello and welcome back. Just so you know, all the attempts to misdirect, guide, befriend, etc. have missed. I understand the approach, the power of the 23 schematics, confirmation bias ops, the Sherlockness, shall I say. No contest here. Trying to smear my outlook and perspective with nonsense will only boomerang. To the other 99% of you listening, Mind Juice faithful, do know I hold strong. Let's march. One thing I can tell you, be careful whom you trust in the social media digital world, especially surrounding this case. I can assert assuredly now, beyond all doubt, there are YouTube creators, one I know for absolute certainty, subjects planted, enmeshed within this platform, intentionally, projecting to solely be another creator and or one of those innocent subscribers or commenters that are in fact involved and a part of the official narrative. No, people, I have not gone crazy or developed some obscene paranoia. Trust me, there's a lot of directed, intentional narrative smearing involved in this case, some of which have directly attempted to gloss me over, like I've reiterated. Overall, there's been a lot of this since day one. Narrative spinning is the underlying thesis to the working hypothesis, and the most recent developments are no different. Dr. Shepard and his remarks are more of the same, setting the stage with a sheepish narrative. I hope everyone can see how out of bounds it is for a retired home office pathologist to comment as he has, remarking and offering up an investigative detective-rooted line of inquiry amidst a case widely known to currently be in inquest processes. Such is an egregious breach of the profession he represents, its ethics, the oath, and overall scope of practice. So, let's get this straight. You have Falding, who clearly did nothing wrong. Well, let's remember, he is the owner and founder of SGI. That's where this is different. He doesn't work for the government company or corporate motivated entity. Paulding, who clearly did nothing wrong, he simply spoke out honestly upon the expertise by which he was there exhibiting, genuinely working within the scope of his career and work. Yet annexed on the expert
Welcome,
list.
CC. Sweetest lady on the
Yeah.
internet's here. Thanks
Just
for
to name the
joining us.
latest, since we're talking about it, you have some retired home office pathologist who can seemingly on its
I'm
face
good,
breach
brother.
ethical
Hope you are
boundaries and
too.
reasonable scope of practice, yet nothing will be done. In fact, watch, as soon as I read it, he'll be the one whom projected the finding of the missing piece. Come on now, people. His title, letters before and after his name, his resume are superficial credibility, setting the stage for the revised working hypothesis. Yes, everyone, it's still the River Wire. Always has been.
You know better
However,
than CC. Don't
now
worry
they're
about
going
it.
to justify finding something to only then assert she had to have floated or come right through this way here because we found her Fitbit or her necklace. Or remember, it's coming from the coroner's request. So through plausible deduction, which they don't always follow, it's going to have to be something that relates to cause of death or physiology or explanations for the state of her body, right? So you think Fitbit because it reads, body temperature, heart rate. You could say hearing aid, which she didn't have those, or like a cap from a tooth, or you get the point. It's going to be something. If they are searching for something, which I don't think they are, and I'll get into that later, it has to be something related to the process because it is the coroner's request, right? It can't be a criminal request because then it wouldn't come from the coroner. Again, that would breach ethical boundaries. The whole thing's rubbish. Mark my words, mind juice. My locked and loaded response is, how can you find a needle in a haystack? Some small item, such as a Fitbit, in the mile and a half stretch of water. Yet for 22 days, despite experts, drones, dogs can't find an adult human body in the same water, which you also projected would be there. You can't expect people to buy the Lancashire police to find a missing artifact when they couldn't find a human body with a large wintry coat now, could you? Like I predicted in the beginning. Watch, Nicola will be put into the river after the church has shifted. Sure enough, there she was. Just wait. I suppose it takes a psychic to find a body, yet a Fitbit or a necklace. Of course, that is something the Lancashire police can find. Absolutely. In what world? How does that make sense? Like I said, we'll get into that as we go. But first, for starters, let me discuss Becky, as I will do in abundance throughout this episode.
Awesome, Pamela.
As you just witnessed and heard throughout the intro piece, was clearly Becky Smith, the known SIO in the Nicola Bulley case, speaking as a recruiter. The video and content you watched in the beginning was a video sourced from the Lancashire Police Facebook page back in 2020, wherein it was recruiting individuals, with the post described here, as you can see, representing the last few days individuals interested were able to apply for the detective entry program, #detectives. Hence, this is why Becky is detailing her specific roles, her passions, etc., right? To try to inspire or, recruit. You get the idea. Like I said, it's date back to 2020. It's still active and up now. Probably not for long now that I decided to share it. They don't seem to be a fan of my perspectives too much, but hey, that's cool. I would suggest that if they were being authentic, maybe I would be nothing but a great assistance, but it's whatever. Becky Smith, yes. I realize this video is a recruitment piece that is outside the context and scope of the case we are talking about here today. However, in regards to Nicola Bulley specifically, I do find aspects of what Becky says and reveals nonchalantly is and do have merit still today. Why? Because it is a biographical outlook given by herself, Becky, expressing her personal passions, areas of experience, her career positioning, her areas of specialties within the field, serious organized crime and online child sex abuse, trafficking, drugs, covert operations, the upper echelon of criminals, homicides. I mean, she was the SIO chosen and elected to entice new amateur detectives. Literally think about it. This thus insinuates she is pretty high up, right? You don't put someone low on the totem pole in your recruitment video. You put someone who represents well, someone who comes across as, I want to be like her, or, I want to be a part of them. You get the point. She's pretty high up. She even stated she was and is the manager of 2 distinct separate departments, right? And that was 3 years ago. Is it thus then fair to presume she still is on this higher up managerial level, specializing in covert, organized online child crimes?
I hope she's okay, Heather.
I would contest so. She clearly hasn't been demoted. What I do find odd is, even if she was within that line of work then, and most likely is still now, I get it, it's a recruitment video, but legitimately, if you're a top managerial person working in a covert area, why have her publicly on record being found stating such? That's not real covert there, if you ask me. I'm just saying. I'll get more into that again later, but find it important to note. Further, did you notice the
And that is a very, very good point. If you caught what he just said, I'm playing that back and listen to what he says right here. I went back a little too far, but listen to this real close, guys.
To
try to inspire or recruit? You get the idea. Like I said, it's date back to 2020. It's still active and up now. Probably not for long now that I decided to share it. They don't seem to be a fan of my perspectives too much, but hey, that's cool. I would suggest that if they were being authentic, maybe I would be nothing but a great assistance, but it's whatever. Becky Smith, yes. I realize this video is a recruitment piece that is outside the context and scope of the case we are talking about here today. However, in regards to Nicola Bulley specifically, I do find aspects of what Becky says and reveals nonchalantly is and do have merit still today. Why? Because it is a biographical outlook given by herself, Becky, expressing her personal passions, areas of experience, her career positioning, her areas of specialties within the field, serious organized crime and online child sex abuse, trafficking, drugs, covert operations, the upper echelon of criminals, homicides. I mean, she was the SIO chosen and elected to entice new amateur detectives. Literally, think about it. This thus insinuates she is pretty high up, right? You don't put someone low on the totem pole in your recruitment video. You put someone who represents well, someone who comes across as, oh, I want to be like her, or oh, I want to be a part of them. You get the point. She's pretty high up. She even stated she was and is the manager of 2 distinct separate departments, right? And that was 3 years ago. Is it thus then fair to presume she still is on this higher up managerial level, specializing in covert, organized online child crimes? I would contest so. She clearly hasn't been demoted. What I do find odd is even if she was within that line of work then, and most likely is still now, I get it, it's a recruitment video. But legitimately, if you're a top managerial person working in a covert area, why have her publicly on record being found stating such? That's not real covert there, if you ask me. I'm just saying. I'll get more into that again later, but find it important to note.
And there it was. Now, just remember that.
Further, did you notice the action block or whatever you call those movie things? It titles the piece as Detectives, then lists Director Sherlock Holmes, Producer Columbo. I'll have a few nuggets regarding this a bit later, the Sherlock aspect that I'm sure you'll like and find intriguing to say the least. But it is interesting, if you really think about it, that they, the Lancashire police, chose to title such and even share these innuendos used officially with the Facebook world. Ironic choice to use a fictional and fantasized detective as an icon, a symbol, a title to a detective recruitment piece. Why use Sherlock under the context of detectives? Come on, mind you, duh, he was a famous one. Right, but he's fictional. Within the guise of recruiting, insinuating what? You'll become a Sherlock? Or is Becky the Sherlock? Or is one of her covert department psychological operation happening in secret outside the eyes of the public, covert and organized, known as Sherlock? Those aren't my words, people. Those are hers. Go back and listen. Of course, I am merely hypothesizing here and indeed not asserting any of this or that as factual. Please do not clip that out and forget to mention that. It's interesting. I mean, in reality, they couldn't and wouldn't possibly be that bold and dumb, right? To actually tease Sherlock and it ended up being an actual covert mission they're actually on, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Come to think of it, in the beginning, when I started on this case, I noticed a lot in the comments, oh, you're Columbo, just like Columbo, just like Columbo. First, I thought, well, that's because it's the U.S. version of Sherlock, right? But then I thought about it a little bit more. Columbo wouldn't necessarily be a compliment, given he's more of a ass-backwards version of Sherlock Holmes, eh? And then I think about it further. There wasn't a single comment that suggested Sherlock. But yet I can recall 6 or 7 people saying, oh, hey, Columbo, hey, Columbo. Now, With that said, that makes me wonder if those people aren't entertaining a inside joke. I didn't get it then, but I get it now. Alternative operations in the past that they have had, Operation Silverback, wherein it was a route crime where they were targeting graffiti on the railways. Operation Whistle,
They were looking into child
child sex
sex
abuse over in Jersey. You get the idea. What I'm saying is Sherlock some type of operation title? I'm not saying exactly what, but it's interesting, and you'll see why a little bit later. Just wait. It's fun to ponder, I guess is the best way to say it. With that said, retaining those comments at the forefront for just a second, let me ask you all, if we can, reflect back to January 27th, the date of the incident. It was a Friday. Officially, Senior Investigating Officer Becky Smith, the manager of 2 departments, serious and organized crime, online child abuse, trafficking, drugs, homicide, covert department outside the eye, secret, her team that specializes in digital media investigation, analyst, surveillance trained team. This Becky Smith, sometime that weekend following the Friday 27th missing episode, Becky, was designated as the SIO lead on the Nicola Bulley case. Let's pause for a second and really soak that in. Really think about what I just said. Number one, Becky and all of her.
Now, this little conversation that you, Transporter, and Pamela are having here is you guys are you guys are both hitting the nail on the head right where we're at right now with what he's saying and what she was saying. If you think about it, it all just kind of flows together, guys. You guys are right on point with this. I'm very impressed with that too. I'll be honest with you. I mean, Pamela, obviously, you know that. Transporter, you're on point, bro. I'm telling you. I have huge things all together. And that's why I think that this may be a whole other scenario in the background, is what I'm trying to say. Good points, both of you, and I'm super excited that you guys see this like that too.
for accolades, authority.
Considering her areas of specialty. And number 2, the facts of the Nicola Bulley case on its face. A missing 45-year-old adult who's a high-risk misper, who's apparently successful in her career and has a strong means of income.
Remember that too. And here's something else I want to point out to you guys real quick. You guys remember that it was pointed out at some point that she was high risk. She had vulnerabilities, blah, 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 so on and so forth. That came down the road. Remember that. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out to you right now is it's something that I had thought about a while back, and I hadn't really said much about it, but I have to now. Because they were talking about they might have been looking for her Fitbit, blah, 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 Fitbit. Okay. They basically claimed that Nikki was an alcoholic. And she's dealing with, physical issues on her body and so on and so forth. But the big one that I'm talking about is saying that she was an alcoholic. I've known some alcoholics in my life, okay? I don't care where you live, Ireland, UK, United States, wherever. It's a generalized thing that most people are the same way. This woman always talked about her walks in her Facebook posts and stuff and her health. She wore a Fitbit, folks. She was worried about her fitness. She was a health nut. She did that kind of stuff. Now, how many alcoholics do you know are worried about their health in that sense? Think about that for a minute. That is why I believe that was complete and total rubbish. I'm sorry, but I do. I believe that was put out for a narrative, for a reason, and that it has nothing to do, and it's not even remotely true about her. I think it was another lie. So think about that stuff is what I'm saying as well. In the background, while we're listening to these things, that I very highly, and I can almost guarantee that Nikki was not an alcoholic, nor did she have any kind of issue with alcohol, guys. Otherwise, she would not have been so worried about fitness and her health and so on and so forth. Just remember that, please.
Side note, there was a January 10th welfare incident. Talking with the family, you would learn that there's menopause issues or So there's said to be struggles with alcohol. You know, you get the point. On its face, does this case seem like it requires a senior investigating officer the caliber of Becky Smith?
And that is the point that I was trying to make when I said what I said. This woman, this detective, 26 years. 26 years she's been with Lancs Police, okay? She's been a detective for 20 of those years, which says within a 6-year period, she earned her way into being a detective. That's not any short note, like that, no shortcomings for that. You have to be good at your job to do that. In turn, she's been put in a very high-ranking position in multiple departments. She's overqualified for this case if there's no kind of criminal aspect to it, folks. Don't you think? I do. Which says what? Think about it, guys, please. And CC, you're absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And exactly, Transporter. Thank you.
Really think about it. And that's no disrespect to Nicola Bulley at all. What I'm saying is on its face, why isn't Becky Smith attached to any of the other missing people around the area that seem to get one article of coverage and 3 days later everybody forgets the name? Huh? You realize the whole Shakespearean ruse, the stage play, all the interviews, all the media coverage that seems to be under the flick of the coroner's thumb? Why is Becky Smith on a case that, if authentic, involves a mom who went to walk her dog, who went missing, her phone and the harness is there, and Willow's left? Even if she falls in or an accident happens or
That was another point I made a couple weeks ago. Yes, Heather, this is the one that I said I had a little thing for, since you had to bring it back up. And I'm over it, okay? I don't know what it was. So you can leave me alone, sweet meat hater myself that I am. Anyway, yes, this is her, Heather. And I know the face that she had while she was standing by the van when they were pulling Nikki out of the water, guys. I mean, you can see it all over her face. It's all over her face, guys. Look at it. I think it showed once, but it's going to show it again. Ha, Miss Heather, you're a comedian. I love you, but ha.
fate. Even if that's the case, why does it require someone to
See, I think she is too, Kim. I don't know. There's just something about her that drew my attention. I don't know what it was. Let's see. Pamela said, can I just say that, or she may have been the on-call senior officer at the time to take the case? Absolutely. Again, like I said, Pamela, anything, I respect absolutely everything you say. And I take it to heart too. So yes, I appreciate that too. I really do. And that is a very grand possibility at the same time. Just saying. So I absolutely get that.
caliber of Becky Smith? I'm curious. You know, she was simply out on routine, having just dropped her girls off at school, with Willow proceeding to then take a morning stroll among the river wire. It was evident she was on a Teams call, texted a friend, playdate, etc. A walk she had taken literally hundreds of times.
Done this 1,000 times.
Those are facts, Transporter. That's why I have the respect for Pamela that I do, and we all do, which is why she's such an important part of our team over here. And I take everything she says to heart because of that. So yes, she does definitely know her stuff, and I 100% respect everything she says.
Children off from school. A beloved dog, Willow. She loves it to bits, that dog. She parks the car in the school car park, walks across past St Michael's Church, through that little lane, up to the open field, and that's where she does it every day in, day out. There may be days where she misses, but if it's not her, it's Paul. And it all revolves around the point that they've dropped the children off at the school. But it's just routine. And, you know, we're just baffled by it.
As you just heard, the point is it was routine. We all know that already. It's obvious, right? As the police say themselves, we have no reason to believe there's any third-party involvement. So it even makes it look more innocent, right? How many times does Becky reiterate this point and aspect of the case in her presser appearance on the 15th? Seriously. Sergeant Riley as well, early on. With that said, missing mom out for a walk with her dog along the river wire. Her dad, Ernie, I remember in the beginning quoted that he remembered her being in a great mood the evening he dropped the kids off and gave her a kiss before he left. That, and I remember these articles here, this one 4 days after she went missing. Nicola Bulley spotted laughing and joking moments before she vanished, says friend. A missing mom was seen laughing and joking moments before she vanished while walking her dog, according to a concerned friend. Her friend, who wishes to remain anonymous. Dang, isn't that a trend? Right, Grizzly? Said she spoke to a pair who may have been the last people to see Nicola before she went missing. The other one, Nicola Bulley, can be seen laughing and joking moments before she vanished by the river, says Pal. They say she was laughing and joking with them as she went by. Now, in my opinion, Emma is clearly the friend. Okay, she's the one who handed out all the photos to the social media. She's the one who did 17 different interviews. It's insane.
Welcome back, Miss Pookie. Routine, but no ball on a dog walk. I walk mine and always take a toy or a ball, or one of mine decides what they are taking. Now, thank you, Pamela, for saying that. Here's the thing. Emma herself, and I brought this up earlier, Emma herself stated, and I spoke about this for two reasons, guys. Again, you guys know that I look at the little things, pay attention to the small words that are said and different little things. I look at everything, okay? When they talked to Emma, in fact, it was in the interview that she's wearing this red coat in, okay? The reporter that was talking to her asked her about the tennis ball. She went right into that, and you could tell as she was talking about it that it irritates her. Okay, the way she was explaining how Willow was and how she drove them insane, so on and so forth, so on. Okay, that is a huge thing, folks, because if Emma were the one that took Willow to the dog walk, we know that she doesn't like to deal with the tennis ball, based on what she said out of her own mouth. Think about it. Put that together. That makes perfect sense. Not only for that's why I brought the tennis ball up, not for just that reason. The other option I was talking about with it too, but look at it. I mean, it's right there when she says it. She was irritated when she talked about it, guys, because it drives her nuts, because the dog wouldn't leave her alone with the tennis ball. So she didn't take the tennis ball. Like Pamela said, most people that go on, other than just to walk them outside to let them use the bathroom, that go on a dog walk will take some form of a toy or something to keep them busy while you're out there, to wear them out. So they're going to want to get their exercise and rest. Okay. Again, think about it, guys. Transporter said that's what I thought yesterday. When they're one way or another, Willow would have made it down river, not stay by. Yes. Wherever Nikki fell in. And like I said, when they found Willow, she was running between the kissing gate and the bench, back and forth in between there. And that is, in my opinion, guys, because she was confused, because Nikki didn't take her there. If Nikki would have taken her there, she would have went to the spot where Nikki was, because that's the regular routine that she's used to. This was a different routine because it's not the daily thing she did. This person that took her there, it's not the normal situation, guys. Here's the problem. Hence, another reason why it's all BS. Thank you, Heather. Again, yes, 18 amazingly beautiful people in here, guys. Please leave the DNA on the like button on the way in. Please share this out, and please leave me a comment afterwards, please. I do appreciate your comments. I do like to know, and YouTube wants it in a bad way, and they want you guys to share it, like it, and watch it. So thank you so very much.
how much presence she had. I mean, every single other interview, I mean, the first one with Paul was outside, but the Channel 5 interview with Paul, Emma, and the parents, that's all at Marsh Farm Hall. I mean, Emma is extremely integrated into this entire thing, right? But looking at this,
Welcome, Wesley. Good to see you.
there's a comment on here. This is 4 days afterwards.
Thanks for joining us.
Emma works at the school, and there is like an hour and 15-minute delay in between.
Now, guys, pay attention to this. This is really important too, and this is why I love this guy. Mind Juicy's great. I never thought of this until after the fact, and it makes perfect sense. Think about this whole thing with the time lapse that he's talking about, and yeah, I said, hey, Wesley, how you doing? Welcome. Good to have you here. Like I said, thank you, Kim. Pay attention to the time span he's talking about and why. Absolutely, friend. Good to have you here. I hope you enjoy it while you're in here. Pamela, yes, if Emma took her there and left her, Willow would have stayed at the gate area, but stressed out why she. Thank you. There it is, right there. Where's her normal routine? Where's her Nikki that she's used to doing this with? Why? That's why she was back and forth. She was confused, guys. Her routine was broke. Just like with children, it's the same thing. So yes, Transporter, you're absolutely right. But listen to this here, what he's saying about, and this I never thought of this until he said it, and it was like, oh my God, that's absolutely right. Listen to this though, and remember what he's saying. Let me start that part back just a tinge so you can catch that. Okay. All right, here we go.
Paul and Emma and the parents. It's all at Farm Hall. I mean, Emma is extremely integrated into this entire thing, right?
Which, once again, this just kind of flows slightly into my theory. Marsh Farm Hall, the back end of that property backs right up to the river, folks. Right to the river. Remember that too.
But looking at it, there's a comment on here. This is 4 days afterwards. Works at the school, and there is an hour and 15-minute delay in between when the phone was found on the bench and when the school was called. It's just interesting. I'm just gonna throw this around. Was it that long of time because it was Emma in that field and not Nicola to give her enough time to be able to be at the school when the call comes in about the phone being missing and whatnot? Because the secretary is going to be around, and it's going to be important that Emma be back at the school at that time, right? So I'm curious. I wonder if that's why there's such a big delay. Because they say they called the vet and they did all this. It's just convenient that they call the place where Emma works, right? That's the place where Nicola was last seen, apparently, by Emma as well, at the school that morning. The laughing and joking was in the beginning because, in my opinion, the entire narrative, the entire story, the entire understanding was wide open. The walls weren't closing in on Paul and Emma at that point. At that point, even in the beginning, I said it. Someone could have abducted her, went up through her own water. Things weren't really clear yet, right? So it was okay to say the laughing and joking bits, right? However, as the walls begin to narrow in and things become uncovered by myself and other YouTube creators out there, this whole narrative of laughing and joking around was washed away, shoved way to the back. It's the river, accident or self-fate. Then you remember the narrative became, I caught this on early in closing time. Paul had this angle covered in the beginning. Remember him saying that, one thing I noticed that morning was she was really organized and she had everything done. I said this way back then, he's projecting the basis for one to infer from that. If you were interviewing him, oh man, maybe that's a little off. Because people who tend to be in that mind state are in a weird state of bliss on the day of. They get done things early, they're organized. That's what Paul's already trying to paint that picture, right? Then we get the accidental, air quotes, vulnerability slip in the presser, which I don't think it was an accident. It was intentional. Okay, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not going to go into that right now. But being realistic, don't buy the narrative. Why? Because you don't have to, okay? From anybody, okay? Think about the circumstances that are given to you regarding Nicola and her last movements, okay? If she really was in a state to where she would commit self-fate or in a bad mind state, would she text a play date? Would she be amidst a team's call? Would she choose that spot? Would she do it in front of her dog? Would her family, would her friends, would Emma, because Emma just saw her, let her be alone
No.
if she was in such a state of harming herself? Now, I'm not saying that you can't conceal it. Obviously, you can. But you get the point. If she was so at risk of hurting herself, I'm not saying she needed to be in treatment with, locked doors, but surely if someone's that high risk, like I said, I used to work on a psychiatric unit, some people were in locked corridors, some people had more what do you want to call it, liberty when it comes to how far, and it's all based upon whether or not this person is going to harm themselves, the likelihood of them running. You get the point. She just closed a new real estate deal or whatever insurance deal the night before with a big client, according to her dad, right? What is there to show that that's what happened? I mean, the evidence doesn't show that. The whole idea of this, her being, self-fate, low mental health. Yes, I know she struggled with menopause, but 51% or 55% of the population, or I don't know the exact number. Last time I checked, it was 51 or 52, is women. They all go through it, So it's almost like that's really all you could use to explain the story, Why? With that said, was Becky Smith, a 26-year vet of the force, specializing in covert outside of the eyes of the public type of tactics? These are her words, remember. Type of tactics, secret ops, designated to this case. If they didn't know any different, it is a missing mom out walking her dog. Does this call for Becky Smith that weekend to take over?
No, I don't believe it. And like Pamela said, she very well could have been the detective on call. I get that. It just seems like so much overkill, guys, for what he just said. And I can't fathom that they would have kept her in this without this being listed as a criminal case. Okay. I can't let it be. It drives me nuts thinking about it, but I'm just saying. But again, hold on to everything he's saying because it makes a whole lot of sense, guys.
Is it a serious organized crime? It doesn't appear so. Remember, Becky's managing a
team. There it is. You're not really getting a great picture of it, but that face, there was a couple faces she had that day while she was standing there doing it. Okay. It just tells its own story, guys. Transporter said it. A couple other people mentioned it back when she was found too. It tells its own story, in my opinion, guys. It really does.
Team who's the Q2
digital investigation analyst, surveillance team. She's first joke said we have a huge team, not a huge team. Surveillance team. But yet, remember the anomaly in the beginning about Rowan Water? We got reports that it was working. Then she said it wasn't. And the crazy part is in her CCTV or in the interview, when she talks about the caravan park in Rowan Waters, her credibility for them being honest is they were great. They were really nice. They gave us everything we asked for. As an investigator, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. That's not a valid basis to justify you have certainty there's no suspicion that direction. I hope you're following what I'm saying. Chew on this one. The actual facts of the missing person case on its face, in my opinion, don't qualify someone like Becky Smith to the case. She's higher up. Yet, if you consider the digital investigation, the analysis, the surveillance team aspects that she herself says that she manages, it then begins to make things quite intriguing, right? I mean, Sally Riley was the spokesperson the whole time until things got really out of hand. Well, then what do you do? Well, I suppose you bring in the manager or the top dog to come in and quash things. Yes, she got a little ahead of herself and allowed her temper and her anger towards the situation, probably panic because it wasn't going to plan, seep out and through her words. I know, how about that, mind you? Shocked my dome still to this point. Yes, these expressions are from a recruitment video 3 years earlier. However, it is important to note she was pitching said departments to new detectives, hence foreshadowing what they and she would be in charge of and what they would be applying to, i.e., 3 years later, those detectives whom applied, and Becky herself, are still most likely operating on these bases, right? Let me be clear. I'm not insinuating anything. I am merely gathering my research and drawing logical conclusions, posing intriguing similarities. Okay? You are responsible to make up your own mind and opinion. Don't just listen to me and believe it as gospel. I'm trying to remain as honest, straight and narrow as possible. Being on the other side of the country, it makes it hard for me to get any further, right? Disclaimer there. So what am I saying? Then allow me to explain, clarify my absence as of late. After I released Title Truth, the Rothwell statement about her being seen down the middle of the river, which was a change in his narrative from him stating he wasn't going to speak about it and she was found in the tree. Using science, I believe I was able, at least to myself, make sense as to how and why she, Nicola, may have been first witnessed, found, coming down the middle. In my opinion, using the influence of Faulding in science, the Fleetwood tidal measurements, the back and forth movements, Marsh Farm Hall is awfully interesting. And I wasn't looking to pin anybody, but that lines up with Paul and Emma. The ring that was on the 3 police CCTV photos, it got removed. The manipulated CCTV dropped by Paul's friend. I felt accomplished to inform myself, felt like I did something good. Then some time goes by and I notice and receive information that Marsh Farm Hall is and was now blurred out on Google Earth. I want to say I was stunned, but given the patterns and shenanigans in this case all over the place, to be honest, I was not one bit. Why? Because who they are. I don't know exactly who they are is. I know Paul and Emma are culpable and complicit to a certain extent. I'm now curious as to why things don't add up on the official narrative. That's what I'm digging into here, okay? Either way, regardless, they digitally smeared everything in this case, okay? They manipulated the photos. Nikki has no nose. Paul's friend drops the clear manipulated CCTV like I had said. The police erased the 3 photos of Emma shown by the ring, which I've shown in the past, off their official website. Gone. Articles are scrubbed from the internet. Interviews, the one with the pretty blonde who called out the exchange about a lead, gone. It's rampant. I'm not making this up. Blackpool Lane was abolished, erased.
He's absolutely right. There's a lot of stuff that's been scrubbed, and this whole thing with this road, that I still don't understand that.
Stain Road now goes straight through. Marsh Farm Hall blurred. Yet they brandish the hell out of Curtis Media for his negative involvement. They have never spoken a word since Nicola Bulley was recovered. They had an identification speech wherein they let Paul reach out his aggressions towards 2 media stations and scald everybody for and making them feel bad and shameful, but I saw right through that. They haven't said anything else since. The coroner spoke out, which I have a comment on that later. Silence for nearly 2 months. The funeral, everything. But yet, meanwhile, as we're uncovering things here on YouTube, they do these little digital scrubbings, as I just mentioned. And at the flip of what appears to be the coroner's request, or what they're calling it, they all get the green light. I hit Nicola Bulley enter on Google, 9 new articles on the same. If you can't see this, no media talking through all of that stuff. CCTV, nothing. All of a sudden, the same day, every single one of them gets the green light. Guys, think about it. The media is a tool they use to flood, run narrative. It's nothing new, folks. Trust me, you see it all the time in politics here in the U.S. and everything else. If I've learned anything in the last 10 years, it's media is used as a tool. You like to think we can watch a conservative, straight and narrow news channel, but those clearly don't exist anymore. In fact, in my opinion, the most authentic conversation you're going to get are through podcasts and stuff like this. It's not filtered by any motive or slanted any way. And that's the problem, that these organizations, or these, whatever you want to call them, dealings, unethical, or the way they do things, are only going to continue to get brought out and shown in the real light. Because me on YouTube speaking about this, spending my time, is an uncontrollable variable, and they can't account or project for that. Right? You go back to the 2000s, before YouTube existed, they can do this stuff over and over and over again, and you're never going to be able to do anything about it. Right? I mean, just here with COVID recently, the U.S. tried to brandish Joe Rogan, saying that he was taking horse dewormer. Joe Rogan fired back and proved him wrong and made Sanjay Gupta and CNN look like fools. It's not my opinion. Look into it. It's clear the media is a tool for, yeah, I'll get into that. I'm not comparing or suggesting this is that, US to UK. What I'm demonstrating is that the media is a billboard for the highest bidder, the strongest tie to those with the most power and authority. That's what I'm saying. The fact that nobody talked the entire time, and all of a sudden this April 4th footage comes out about police in the river. You don't hear anything for a couple of days. All of a sudden, bang, the Sun, the Mirror, the Gazette, Manchester Evening News. All the same day. I can't believe how brazen they are with their little buttons they're pushing. It's insane. Then it dawned on me. I still vividly remember it. This picture here popped into my head. The raft out to Morecambe Bay. I had a light bulb moment. They're pushing this narrative about them expanding the search out to the sea. They legitimately appear and are funding resources towards actually searching there. So I think to myself, this must then infer they have a reasonable basis to consider such a plausible likelihood or possibility, right? I mean, it would be a phase or step in the investigation ladder, right? Through a process of elimination, you expand out or grid search. Once you do this, then you move things out, right? You get the point. So I thought to myself, when I did it, because this is what I do, I don't always buy the narratives. I always challenge it myself in the river wire inconsistencies. I determined per the water temperature, all of the variables, 315 meters approximately between the bottom of the bench and to where the weir is, that even if she was an Olympic record-setting time swimmer, intentionally trying to get to the weir, she wouldn't have made it. So let's say she drowned or self-ate or somebody put her in there. It doesn't matter what the scenario is. She wouldn't have crested the weir. Logically, that's not my opinion. That's what blows my mind in this case. I had an even and still can't get past that weir. Get past that weir in what context? The context of the narrative that the officials are still continue trying to sell. You can't get past the weir in that narrative. She wouldn't float for 5 to 8 days given the temperature and the processes of decomposition. I already went through that. Yet, day 9, Peter Falding and crew were there. Nobody saw her. She wasn't in there. That's why I keep driving at this narrative. Why do they keep trying to sell it when it doesn't make sense back on step 1 and 2?
And that's the thing. They keep pushing it and keep pushing it and keep pushing it, and nobody believes it. There's more people in the United States that was in that water than there are in the UK. There are so many people over there in the UK that do not believe this, you guys. Nobody believes this. I'll be honest with you. Okay? And they're making themselves look ridiculous. Therefore, that's why nobody trusts them. And that's a bad thing, guys. You should be able to trust the local law enforcement. You should. Nobody wants to at this point because, and I've seen multiple people say this in different posts all over the place, all sorts of different social media platforms are saying the same thing. Pookie was reading all sorts of UK posts and different things that were saying the same thing. There's a problem with that, guys. Something is not right with it. So, again,
if the narrative is the truth, she would have been found, period. I'm not making up conspiracy. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It is straightforward, head-on.
Also, me and my wife sat down and talked about this a while back, quite a while back, actually. Okay. You're 100% right, Kim. She is. She has. That's why I have as much respect for her as I do. Now, my wife sat down and we talked about this and said, okay, Peter Falding, and like I said before, I know a lot of people don't care for him, but he does know what he's doing. If Nikki and me and my wife sat down and did a whole little sit down with this, talked about this, that, and everything else that goes with it, and said, okay, let's just say, for the heck of it, that she was walking the dog, she slid back on the embankment and fell in the water. And maybe the dog didn't care. And she hit her head and knocked herself out and didn't stand back up, and she floated downriver. 23 days went by. And Peter Falding is horrible at his job. He didn't see her floating in the river. She would have been floating, guys. She would not have sunk to the bottom. Okay. And she got trapped in those reeds. Do you know how many people were walking around I mean, seriously, between YouTubers and locals and police and people and dog walker, somebody would have seen this woman. Nobody saw anything. And
Seriously.
they still, good God, you just gave me a heart attack. Wow. I just swallowed my heart, and it's below my throat, so figure that out. Wow. So you're back. I know that now. I can't see how she got over the weir, but if she did, Willow would have been in there. Oh yes, 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 and yes. See, you must have scared Molly too. So she said, "Holy crap!"
Hi, Cece.
God, you scared me. She wasn't there. She left to do something and was on her way back, and I didn't know she was back. So yeah, it scared the hell out of me. Anyway, well, I just made her day. She's laughing her butt off over here. Wow, that scared me. Ugh. Anyway, I'm getting too old for that kind of crap. So yeah, guys, like all of these things you have to take into account. I think Molly said, "Wow, 1 minute." She probably has to go change her pants now. She probably peed herself. I know I almost did. All of that and taken into effect, guys. She would have been seen somehow, somewhere, in some form, but she wasn't. Yes, she's stuck on the ceiling again. I figured as much. Yeah, she scared me too, Molly. Don't feel bad. I think she scared me more.
Sorry, Molly.
Whoa.
Sorry, Dale.
What was that?
What was what?
That noise.
I don't know what noise.
I heard something really loud in my speaker. I couldn't hear what it was saying, but it wasn't you, I don't think. Anyway, okay. So yeah, guys, like I said, all of that taken into account, there's no way. I don't even think, and I respect Pamela's her opinion about her still falling into the water or going into the water, but downward somewhere else. I can't, because somebody would have seen her. 23 days is a long time, guys. Okay. Day and night for 23 days. A body is a body. You would have seen, and plus she had that big coat on and she had all her clothes on when they found her. That would have swollen up with the water. Okay. You would have seen that, the coloring, you'd have seen that day or night. Nobody saw her. She was not in there. That's why. Until, in my opinion, the early morning hours of the 18th. Or, yeah, the 19th. Whatever. Anyway, she was, and she was put into that group of reeds and whatnot because I think she was rolled from the wall down the hill into the reeds. All right, Sammy, thanks for joining us so much. Appreciate you. I hope you got something out of it. Again, if you have a chance, please leave me a comment. I appreciate that. What did we have here? Very little time passed from her being reported missing from her to have sunk. Right. That's true. That is true. Pookie says they'll rule death by misadventure. I won't take that. I won't. I mean, they can do what they want, but I'm not going to take that. You know what I'm saying? I will not accept that. Which leaves the case possibly open if they get more information, and that's just it. We don't know if they search the house at any point. Forensics on car. Exactly. Good, Sammy. I'm glad to hear that, hon. And I hope to see you again soon. Again, don't forget, Sammy will be live tonight if you're available, doing the true story behind the movie Wonderland, or Wonderland. I'd love to see you there if you can make it. So yeah, guys, honestly, welcome April, by the way. I didn't see you earlier, hon. One would have thought someone would have heard the splash, yelling for help, seen her floating, or heard Willow having all of that, April. Every single bit of all of that would have happened. And again, if she would have tripped and fallen into the water, I've said this I don't know how many times, and I know at least Mama Bear, I know she agrees with this. If anybody would have tripped and fallen into that water, splashed, whatever, that dog, as close as she was to Nikki, would have went completely insane over that, either jumping in the water or barking her brains out. And with all the people that were around, the dogs that would have gotten their attention, they would have looked that way and they would have found her right then and there.
Seriously.
Right. And if she would have hit her head, per se, I even gave it a what if on that. If she'd have hit her head and went under, she still would have floated. Okay.
Right.
Probably, the face down, but still. And somebody would have seen that. The dog would have jumped in the water, especially because dogs have that sense, folks. They have that sense, especially to somebody that they're close to. The dog probably would have jumped in and tried to help her and would have barked and yelped and tried to be all over her to get her to move. None of that happened. None of it. Quato, I can never say that right. Quato lives. Welcome, by the way. He's had over 3 months to clean up. Forensics won't help. 100%. 100%. They should have went to that house the day after she went missing, if not the day. But they didn't even think about it. They didn't even talk about it. And it makes me sick because I guarantee you, I'm telling you, I have such a strong feeling that is whatever happened to Nikki, I feel that that's where it happened at, in that house. I'm sorry, but I really feel that way strongly. You don't have to agree with me, and that's okay. But I cannot let that go.
I agree with you. I think so too.
I just can't, guys. I can't let that go. I'm not lying to you, have had dreams about this before. Not the type of dreams that Molly or Pookie has or anything like that. I've just dreamt of the scenario. I dreamt one time that I saw not him. It wasn't his face. It was somebody else's face. But in my mind, it was him choking a woman. That was a dream I had. It went along with a bunch of other stuff that I was thinking about too, I guess. But it was just weird to me. I've never dreamt about a case before. One other one I did. Because I get so involved in it. You know what I mean? But not like this. So that's what I think happened. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry. PPR. Where did it go? When someone of wealth pays off the officials, they'll either cover anything up for the money or keep person out of prison. It doesn't even have to be that because he really didn't have anything, to be honest with you. But there's another way that can happen too. And it's a good point, PPR. And I appreciate that, brother. And then Pamela said, does anyone know an exact time folk and police appeared on river looking for her? I cannot remember. I can't either, Pam. I was thinking about that the other day and I can't. There's so much with this now that I can't remember. Do you remember that, Mama Bear, by chance?
What did she ask?
The exact time that folk and police appeared on the river looking for her. I can't either. That's driving me nuts. I was trying to the other day. Like, when did this start with them actually looking for her?
I don't remember exactly, but let me see if I have anything in my notes.
Pookie says to Quato, that's it. He might have karate chopped her at the gate or in the car. Karate chopped her. If he asked to speak to her for a moment, and there's plenty of tunnels around here and probably a freezer or two. Agree. There's more tunnels underneath this place than I ever could have imagined, folks. There is so much going on underneath here. It's crazy. Molly says, I agree. All of you guys are correct. And that's it right there. They were broke. Now, I think Nikki was, we looked and figured out that Nikki was worth a decent amount. He wasn't worth nothing, which is another thing to think about. Was within an hour or sooner. Pamela just said, Mama Bear, was it within an hour or sooner of her going missing? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just didn't know if you heard me or not.
I want to say within an hour.
I thought it was in that realm, but I couldn't remember exactly. At least an hour, I think, at the very latest. But remember, go backwards to what he said a little bit ago about Emma and about them calling the school. And the time lapse between that, which was enough time for Emma to get to the school if she had to, because she did need to be there for that. And see, Pamela says, geez, I'm doubting myself now on my theory. And that's okay, Pam. That's what this is all about. That's why we do this. Transporter says, Pamela, that's why I'm thinking drugs, their house, the cars, way part of life. Well, or a way to make some income for somebody that doesn't have one. Okay. Just saying. All right, let me get this rolling again. And again, guys, keep listening. He's making so many great points, and this is so informative to me. And again, Mama Bear, thank you so much for drawing my attention to this morning. Seriously.
Absolutely.
Challenging underpinnings of the Grand Mirage going on here. If whatever nefarious deeds are going on here now in Nicola's name are not revealed and exploited, all of this work, everything I've done, other creators have done, all of you out there have done, everything those in the public have done to help will merely all become lessons for the team or whoever's behind this, Paul, Emma, to use and learn what not to do next time going forward.
Exactly.
If there is a forward. Seriously, think about it. Whatever that may mean. Now, let me explain, because I'm probably losing some people here. If we go by the official narrative, that is the police can do no wrong, of course they have nothing to do with this, right? Paul and Emma, in my opinion, are involved because, like I just said, that narrative in the river doesn't add up. Where she's found, given the science, puts her by Marsh Hall Farm. You look at Paul's behavior. You look at the picture of Emma on the police website posing to be Nikki with a ring on her right damn finger. Intentionally, behaviorally, right? That's incidents. Here's the problem. They just thought they had it all covered and didn't expect all of this to be uprooted and revealed, right? The problem is they didn't expect to have to make and they're faced with making it up as they go. That's what happened. They put the cart in front of the horse and they're having to suck wind and water so they don't drown. That's what happened. That's what's happening, right? So I believe it's Paul and Emma, right? But something's off with Becky. No, I'm not saying what that is. Something's off. And I'll show you here coming up. Something's off. Her does not add up to legitimate, authentic, reasonable investigation given the circumstances. I mean, number one, she's way overqualified. I don't know how they are still trying to sell that. Number two, she buys and oversells all of the decoys and the normalcy of Nicola's behaviors and why he even demonstrates how it's normal for her to hold her phone out in front of her. It's normal for her. They don't find her in any CCTV. She didn't even check the Grapes pub until the 15th, 17 days after Nicola supposedly went missing. So you're telling me a senior investigating officer of 26 years of experience, honestly, authentically approaching that investigation 2 days after she went missing, is not going to check the Grapes pub for potential CCTV that's going to show Nicola Bulley until 17 damn days after the fact? Are you kidding me? Someone needs to wake up. This corruption, if you want to call it that, and I'm not saying, oh, it's criminal corruption. It's dishonest and fraudulent crap. Now, I'm not saying that had anything to do with Nicola's passing, but they could be using it as some type of stage to move money somehow or plant movements for specific reasons to get more funding for certain areas, or you get the point. There's a million different things it could be. I can't possibly prove what it is, right? But then I had this roll through my mind immediately after it. Faulting, rejecting the idea, such as even possible. That is Nicola going out to the bay. Easily, without question.
Nobody knows. This is a complete mystery, this whole thing. And normally, if somebody falls in the water, if Nicola went in here, her body would have gone straight to the bottom, it would remain there, and police divers would have found her that day, without doubt. She could be in this part of the river. If Nicola is not here, then I don't know where she's gone. She's disappeared off the face of the earth, and I'm pretty confident in saying that.
There's been a lot of speculation that if she has gone past the weir, perhaps she could have reached the sea. Whether or not that's happened yet, if she does end up reaching the sea, what are the chances of ever finding her?
Right, this is a very tidal river, so the tide comes in, the tide goes move. It didn't go far. If you went missing near an estuary, you could go out to sea. But things tend to move up and down with the tides. It's an awful long stretch of river with a lot of shallows. She would have been found by now in the shallows.
You literally hear Falding reject the making it out to the bay. He states, if she was here, she would have been found by now. Not able to crest the weir, even if she did, all of the shallows and the back and forth movement due to high and low tide. He even puts vanished off the face of the earth before going up to the bay. Do you realize that? Yet you have the police extending the search, not just past the weir, but beyond all the nooks and turns, the shallows, out to the bay. Really? What analysis, expertise, apparently not Falding's, reasons, justifications, logic did they use? The Lancashire police to move the search out to the bay. I'll tell you, they didn't use any. They were merely selling a narrative. Oh, we're looking. She must have gone out to the bay, not taking into account the weir, the shallows, the turns, the tide in and out, the science, the logic, Falding coming into the picture. Individuals really diving into the credibility, the stability of the surface level narrative they presented. Them going out into the bay without any feasible reason, give me some today. Well, they apparently did have some. I don't know what it could possibly be. So what I picked up and learned after going back to the beginning is a macro level structure of this case. Let's put it this way. When you think of how a police dynamic and relationship should be with a victim's family in any situation, we can all agree that there's a reasonable expectation or boundaries or lines we expect or them to behave or act, right? You know, in the beginning, if there's a lot of ridicule or a lot of hate, you might see them be a little bit defensive. Hey, they need their time to grieve. Hey, they need this and that. You understand what I'm saying? What I found in this case is it's almost like a ripple. So if the boundaries are like a straight line, right? Think of a ripple versus a straight line. In this case, there are repeated blips in the police's handling with how they speak on Paul and Emma. Okay. Becky gets very defensive, condescending towards tips, like the red van, like the other hundreds of cars out there that day. That's not even denying it. That's condescending. The fishermen, I don't find them suspicious. I don't find it odd that they were out there that day. These are legitimate tips if you really think about it, right? Yet she's hard selling facts you can't really know, prioritizing the working hypothesis publicly without any clear basis, as I just discussed. She said Garstang Road in the presser, and it was a clear error, so they literally changed it officially on Google Earth. I'm not making this up. Yet they just scrub that away. They say they're referring themselves and they're under review. Yeah, but that's Snowden. It was a joke. He's got so much corruption in his past, it's not even funny. Listen to these clips here of Becky. Tell me if this is a genuine 21 or this is a genuine 26-year vet speaking with intention behind resolution, facts.
The main hypothesis I was working on at that time was that Nicola had gone in the river. This has been misconstrued in the press and said that that was what I said. I said that was my main working hypothesis at that time. Yard walked up Garstang Road and onto the river path over an iron bridge. We know she logged into a work call on Teams. Again, there has been lots of speculation about this. This was a perfectly normal call for Nicola to have. It was work related. She would never have had the microphone or camera on because it was more of an informative session. She didn't need to sign into it. She did so to enable her with her business.
We know she logged into a work call. She would never have had the microphone or the camera on. She did so to enable her with her business. See the way she talks about it? Like, she knows exactly what Nicola was doing and scorns you for considering anything else. Later, in a little bit, she does it with Willow's harness. We've had a lot of speculation about this. That was completely normal. Who's speculating about that? You know? And watch here in this next clip. She talks about key witnesses. We've been very fortunate who know Nicola. Well, it's not the lady with the red coat because you tried to say that your dogs interacted briefly, and then she came out and said that that was rubbish. So I don't know who it would be. It's got to be Emma, right? Check out her look after she says it.
We've been extremely fortunate from the very start of this inquiry to have a number of witnesses, key witnesses, who know Nicola. So there is no miscommunication about the identification of who was in that field. Again, a number of issues and inconsistencies have been raised in relation to Willow and her harness. It was really normal for Willow not to have her harness on. They never kept the harness on when they were in that field. The harness would be taken off Willow when they entered the field and would only be put back on when they were ready to leave the field.
When you hear her talk about Nicola and the facts of Nicola that day, you hear how possessive she is over describing what Nicola would do, what she doesn't do, what's normal. She would never have that on. She was doing that because it was for her business. It's almost like she's describing a character in a plot that she has. There's no.
Exactly, because if she was in the water, she's deceased. She's floating. How would she float up on top of the reeds, not under the reeds? There's no way. She was on top of the reeds because she was rolled down the hill and landed the way she did. Period, folks.
No way you could be that
certain onto Nicola, you know? What the crazy ironic part is when she talks about the uncontrollable variables, which are the things you can't control in a stage narrative, she deflects every single one of them.
Again, there have been questions raised about her phone, whether that would have been in her possession when whatever happened has happened. But again, I'd just like to point her out that it's really normal for Nicola, when in a Teams call, to be holding her phone out in front of her, listening to it. And we can say from a witness that knows her that morning, that is what she was doing. So that would explain why.
Who's the witness is my point too. Who said that? And that doesn't mean that it was Nikki, though. Whoever they saw holding the phone in front of them could have been anybody in a blue coat, in the blue coat. The same person that I feel is the one that took Willow to the park, not Nikki.
Exactly.
And she doesn't have her phone in her pocket, as I know a number of people have raised.
It doesn't explain shit. The only thing it explains is how possessive you are of the Nicola Bulley facts. I mean, listen how hard selling she is on it. She's offering it up as if so there's no more speculation. It was normal for Willow not to wear the harness. She did have her phone out in front of her. It's normal for her to log in. She would never have her mic off. How can you possibly know?
You don't know.
You know, normally in a case like this, you go and you get a third party from the family, where typically she walks out, like if Paul or the family were to tell her these things, the officer would come out and say, well, it was typical for her, it was normal for her.
She's not doing that. She's asserting as fact.
Rowan Water has CCTV that covers the gate that enters the field and the front of the site. That is working. The site managers have been cooperating with us.
So she claims there the cameras at Rowan Water were working. Yet I have this clipping here from very early on that says there's a camera over there broken. Then I have another one that diagrams the red light. The one's not.
And that is what we were all told from the very beginning, that CCTV camera did not work. It was broke. And that it was the only one that was there. Okay? The only one in that area that could have seen anything, but it was broken. That is exactly what we were told, right or wrong, Mama Bear?
That is right.
100%. See? Just making sure I wasn't crazy. And here we are with this now.
Not working.
The one that allows you to go on that path outside of Rowan Water. Why is Becky lying? Remember, she's a manager of 2 departments, one of which has a specialty, a huge team, she jokes, in surveillance of all things.
Imagine that.
So moving on to Nicola's phone, I've talked to you about the discrepancies that have been flagged up with the Teams call, whether she would have had that in front of her, whether she would have had it in a pocket. And we can say with confidence that Nicola that morning, whilst logged into her Teams call, had the phone out in front of her, listening to that call.
Didn't she?
Now, you can say with confidence that somebody was logged into that Teams call. Not Nicola. Somebody. There was no camera on. There was no microphone being used. There was no conversating. It was a call that whoever had that logged into it was listening to it. That's it. So you cannot say with confidence that it was Nikki. It was somebody.
You say that?
Why does she feel the need to reiterate this? I'll tell you. Because she's selling a story. That's why.
So in terms of persistent myths that keep being referred to in the press.
So she starts this portion by stating, in terms of persistent myths that keep being referred to in the press. And then she goes on to talk about the derelict house, the red van, the fisherman. How can you label all of these persistent myths without really checking into them? I mean, you didn't even check the Grapes pub until the day before this interview. How can you possibly call the red van and the fisherman persistent myths at this point? This is what I'm saying. She oversells what Nicola was doing, almost if like she saw her do it. That's how she knows. So much conviction. But yet she interludes with the uncontrollable variables, the public tipped in things, seeing a red van, the things they couldn't control, and she discounts them instantly. Like the hundreds of cars out there, condescending. The fishermen, I don't find it suspicious why 2 fishermen would be out there.
The red van. We're really, really grateful to members of the public for ringing into the inquiry. We wouldn't have got this far without everybody's help. But I think it's also really obvious that we are being inundated with false information, accusations and rumours, which is distracting us from our work. The red van has been reported that it was in the area on the morning of the 27th, like many other hundreds of cars that morning. We're really grateful for the witness who has told us about that, and we are continuing to make inquiries to try and track down that specific van. But from my perspective, being in possession of all the facts and information of this case, I do not believe that to be suspicious. There's also been mention of a number of fishermen that have been seen that morning, who again were described as suspicious. I myself don't find it suspicious that fishermen would be in the area of a river that morning or carrying fishing rods. But there was some suggestion that one of these males might have been looking to cover his face.
She states,
You're muted.
Thank you, Sammy, very much. I will take a look. I'll also forward it to Mama Bear so she can see it, and we will definitely take a look at it for sure, okay? No worries. I appreciate it, Sammy. Thank you. She looks like a Jessie J. All right. PPR, no point. Thousands of people have been there. You can see what that there were grasses missing. There will be no. Yeah, he's right. He's absolutely right. So
She's keen on tracing
him. Yet they are not suspicious to her. 2 fishermen, one concealing their face. Likely the only individuals unidentified you have yet to speak to. Correct me if I'm wrong, they could have relevant information, something, right? At least check into it urgently. As the senior investigating officer with these facts, you have to be suspicious until given substantive reason not to be, i.e. talking to them, vetting, screening, then determining. Why? Because like you said, the dog walkers who were friends of Nicola's that you've used, you're very fortunate to get all the assistance from fellow people who we don't know who they are. You still need to search the unidentified people, especially one who seems to be concealing their face, right? Van, same thing. Only likely unidentified vehicle in the area, right? I'll tell you one thing that has become clear. The Lancashire Constabulary does not like outside, or another way to word it, private-run companies that have experts to assist them. They have it all handled. Militia police, all right. Geesh. You do realize this is a theme across the board. Everyone, right? They express verbally to thank you for the tips, etc. Yet Becky, the front and the face, states, I think it's really obvious that we have been inundated, rumors, misconstrued, like the other hundreds of vehicles out there that day. You get it. The attitude shines through. Becky, those involved in the official investigation. Aren't the police supposed to be what's in the best interest of the people, the public, the people within the case?
Yep.
Not what's in the best interest of them? Because that is exactly what it seems like from day one up until right here, right now, as I'm sitting and speaking with all of you. That has been the running theme. Riley warns in the beginning that, you better not speculate. Now, the coroner apparently has spoken up. Not only has the media switch been flipped, Dr. James Aidley since I've been making this, has come out and warns against speculation. You got to be kidding me. Dude, with all due respect, you allowing that news source to quote your words, publish them, in and of itself will bring speculation. Yet you warn. I don't know why that bothers me. Wow. I guess we're also stupid out here. I don't know. Yes, I understand the respect for the investigation for sure. No doubt. It's not that. It's.
And that, everyone, bothers me just as much. He's absolutely right. Okay. Yes, we all respect the investigation, at least in here. I can guarantee you that we do. We all support it. We respect it. All we want is for it to be done the correct way, truthfully, and legally. That's all. I don't think that's asking for much. I mean, that's pretty much the way it's supposed to be done anyway. And in my opinion, thus far, it has not been. It hasn't been. There's no way, guys. Okay, and they know this. Okay, they know this. You know this, and I know this. And at this point, even Pamela knows this. Okay, and I understand that there is I'm a retired fireman and medic. There's a brother sisterhood between officers and each other, police officers of all types, just as there are with firefighters and medics. And you support each other the best way you possibly can. But when things are blatantly not what they are, and they're being put out as not what they are, in turn is when you're going and saying, okay, I can't support this any longer because it's not right. This doctor, the coroner, is saying not to speculate, not to this, not to that. With everything they've given us and us being smart people, they will be investigations. Oh, absolutely, Pamela. Pamela says there'll be investigations going on behind the scenes. I believe there already is, to be honest with you. But we're a smart group of people, guys. And we're not the only group that caught on to this. Obviously, okay, he has, and quite a few other people have, that this is not what it is. It's as I said Saturday, it's smoke and mirrors, folks. Smoke and mirrors. It's an illusion. It's an illusion that they want us to believe, and that they think that, okay, just because we're not wearing a badge, we're not going to get it. It doesn't work that way. This is what we do. That's why we get it. And we have passions for this. Again, that's why we get it. There's no other way to say it. So they need to let that go, move on, and realize that nobody's going to give up on this until you give us the truth.
Right.
And you present the facts as what they are and just say, okay, you know what? And this is what they need to do. We made a mistake. Okay. And I'll accept that. I would accept that. And I would be so happy. We made a mistake. Our apologies. Moving forward, here's what the scenario is. I'd be good with that. And that would be more than enough for me. Not that it matters for me because I'm a nobody, but I'm just saying that's what needs to happen at this point. Okay. The cover up, whatever it is that's going on, it needs to stop. Unless there's a really, 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 really good reason for this. And then okay. And it better make sense. That's all I can say. Exactly. I think now 100% more going on in the background, and so do I. And I have, as has Mama Bear, from almost the very beginning, folks. Like I said, I think we gave this a week before we both said no. That's not what it is at all. And I think even the first couple of days, I was just like, and you may have been too. I don't think she went in that water like that, but okay. I'll listen to them and let them put their point out, and we'll see what happens. And then within the week, we were both just like, oh, hell no. There's no way.
Yeah.
So
like, what? It just didn't add up.
It doesn't. And that's a thing, is we're all adults. Okay. Just because, like I said, just because we're not wearing a badge like you are, doesn't mean we don't see it for what it is, guys. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, if the wall is painted blue, it's blue. We see the blue, not white, not green. It's blue. Play the game, but do what you got to do. We're still going to know, okay? And one way or another, it has to come out. And at the end of this investigation, I'm telling you, come June, oh boy.
June's going to be an interesting month.
Oh my God. So we're going to be busy. That's all I can say. Busy. I'll be exhausted, but it's worth every bit of it. All it will take is one bit of info to blow this case wide open. I absolutely agree, Pamela. Sorry. One little piece, guys, is all it's going to take to flip that switch, and pow, it's all going to be there. And that's what I'm waiting on to happen. That's why I'm pushing like this with this, like I am. That's the same reason why Mind Juice is doing it, because that's what we want. The truth and true justice. That's it. So that this woman can rest in peace, finally. And the people, because I feel there's more than one, that are involved in this happening will be put to justice, and that's it. And then I'm washing my hands and moving on. That's all I want.
The expression and the expectation due to his status that we heed. That's a little too much ego and authority hungry for my liking, to be honest, but whatever. Now, going back to the April 4th development again briefly, now that I raise it up, I noticed as I was preparing, like I said, Ailey did speak out, as I just referred to. Apparently up and out against those like Dr. Shepard, whom speculate as to the role and purpose of the officer's instructions in that river. Let's check it out. The coroner warns against speculation about new police river searches. The coroner investigating the death of mother of two, Nicola Bulley, has warned against speculation following the police searches of a river. A police diving team was recently seen in the water not far from the weir and downstream from a bench where police believe Miss Bulley went missing. Her body was found in the river 23 days after she went missing. Police divers were spotted in the river wire on April 4th, and a brief clip was uploaded to YouTube. Maria Sollers, prompting speculation about the activity on social media. Dr. James Aidley, HM Senior Coroner to Lancashire Police, said speculation as to the role and purposes of the officers acting on my instructions is unhelpful in the resolution of this inquest. Lancashire Police spokesman said there has been misinformed speculation over the past few days relating to the police activity in the river wire. As previously stated, police divers were acting under the instruction of HM Senior Coroner and had been asked to assess the riverbanks in the vicinity of where Nicola Bulley went missing. That's big. They had not been tasked either to perform any further searches within the river along the banks or to locate any articles. This is big, okay? This activity is to assist with the coronial process. An inquest into Miss Bulley's death is to be held on June 26th. That brings us to the present. If you have made it to this point, thank you. You are about to be rewarded. Now that I have set the table with everything to this point, allow me to attempt to try and tie this all together. It's very complex, so please bear with me. It's very interesting. Remember, we had Becky in the intro from the 2020 detective entry recruitment video, finding out she was the manager of 2 departments, 26 years with the police, 20 as a detective. Her specialties and areas of expertise include digital investigators, analysts, surveillance, organized crime. In my opinion, these areas of expertise tie her to this case, reflecting back more so than do her department on its face in the facts of the case to begin with on January 27th in that first weekend when she was elected as the SIO on the case. Like everything we see now, it makes sense why she's a part of it. But then how could they project that, right? It doesn't make sense. Considering this, there's something still off with Becky. How? Why is she doing this? The 15th presser, why? I don't think she's involved.
And that's what bothers me so much with this, guys. I want to respect this woman as a police officer, as a detective, as an SIO. She's earned that, guys. She deserves that respect, and I want to give that to her. But why is she doing this? I cannot seem to find in my mind any good reason other than one word keeps popping into my mind, and it's covert. Okay. When she said that in this interview thing here, that covert word keeps popping in my head. And what you guys were talking about back there ways about something going on behind the scenes that she has to protect. Maybe that's what I'm giving this to her for. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me as to why this would be going on, is that she's protecting something else. And it must be something big, okay, to be going along with this. Because I in my heart of hearts, I want to feel like she does know the truth. Otherwise, she wouldn't be in the position she's in. Okay? Or she doesn't have a choice at this point. That's all I can think of. It doesn't make any sense to me. And as far as integrity goes with this woman, like you would think in the position 26 years and with the two departments she's the head of, she deals with multiple scenarios and a lot of serious stuff. Why are you doing this, Becky? That's what I don't understand. What is it that is so important that you can't come out with it for? That's what I don't get. And that really, with everything going on right now, that's what bothers me the most with this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It bugs me. I don't get it. I have had a few dreams about her, but I have not tried to link with her. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Heather. Again, guys, don't forget about tonight. I believe she was strangled. I know she was, and I've seen a struggle where someone approached her from behind. I don't doubt what you guys say with that kind of stuff. I don't at all. I've seen it work. I've seen it happen, especially two of you in here.
There's
I already know.
three.
I know there's three for sure, but I've seen proof of things with. Okay. Blatant proof. I know Sammy's involved in that too. Okay, at this point, so I don't doubt any of it, guys. I may not feel the same way you guys do about it, but I don't doubt it, and I respect every bit of it. So do what you do, guys. Not that Nikki's not a big case, but there could be something in the background where she could put 25 to 30 people behind. But right, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what I mean, Transporter. There's got to be something big that she's protecting by doing this, because you got to weigh it. And then law enforcement officers have to do that a lot, guys. And that's a bad thing. And sad that they have to make these kind of choices. But you got to weigh what's more important with that. You know what I'm saying? And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I hope that's what it is, and just not another issue. Okay.
Right.
Please do, Miss Molly. Please do. Because the pictures with Molly floors me. Molly, the dates that she does with these drawings, and then what'd you say?
I said they're mind blowing.
I know, because the dates on these pictures are from like a certain time, and then these things happen here. That's what made me start to go, okay, what's going on with this? That's kind of crazy, you know? So I absolutely agree, Sammy. I have from almost day one. The thing that finally gave me, in my mind, the proof for me, welcome back, Pam, that she was strangled was the picture that Mama Bear and Molly had found. I can't remember which one of you guys found it, and put up, that I showed you guys 3-4 times now, with her this past Christmas, with her standing by the Christmas tree with the huge bruise on the back of her neck. And then right after Christmas, she goes off of social media, or I think not social media altogether, but Facebook. And the picture of her standing by the tree is the fakest smile. And she looks scared in that picture, to be honest with you guys. Okay.
Very forced.
Very forced. Like, either you smile or we're going to go round again. You know what I mean? Look happy. I don't care if you are or not, that type of thing. And that's what I took from that picture immediately. When I saw that bruise, that immediately my mind said, this woman was strangled, probably in that home. And here we are. So, and I'm going to stick with that. I really am. I still think it's what I suggested a bit ago. Thank you, Molly. What did you suggest, bro? Let me see real quick. If I missed it, I'm sorry. Probably witnessed a corrupt official do or give or sell something, and Douchad could. I love you, Dustin. Douchad could have been in on it, and she became a threat, and move 86 years of collab with a mega water search and place her in a spot. Okay. I can't argue that.
Mm-hmm.
That right there could have something to do with what the bigger picture is, which is why we have to go with this narrative that they're pushing down our throats right now until something happens with that. So that could very well make sense, Dustin. I can agree with you on that. I very much can. Maybe they've had PA under surveillance for over a year or more, and there's ways to launder money, more ways to launder money than drugs. If you have a business, you can launder money, but your books have to be. And see, here's the thing, folks. That's a good point, Pookie. How many businesses did we see that he had, though, Mama Bear? Remember that?
4?
Four different businesses, folks. Why? Why not just pick one and concentrate on it? Because they all went under.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that was done purposely.
Maybe.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense too, Pookie. It really does. I'm just saying, guys, there's got to be a good reason for her to be doing this. That's all I can suggest. Because somebody that gets put in the position she's in, they don't just hand that over for nothing, okay? Especially over in the UK.
Right.
You gotta work for stuff over there, guys. It ain't as easy as it is here in some senses, okay? It's still hard here. It's harder there. Just put it that way.
Did you see Molly emailed you pictures?
Yeah, thank you, Molly. I was just getting ready to pull that up real quick before I finished off with this, just in case it was something that I needed to. I was like, your kids are having fun today.
Yeah, I don't know what they're playing, but yeah.
Oh. So be it.
Something scary, apparently.
If it works and they're happy, that's all that matters.
Right?
As long as nobody's getting hurt.
Yeah.
Right, come on. Open up. It's okay, Molly. You don't have to apologize for anything. You got to be kidding me. I don't even know what to say sometimes with these. It's easy here for one to go under and they restart again day after under a different name. That's true too. Very true. Okay, so these are from Molly. That's quite interesting, dear.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as I'm putting these up, does anybody see anything in this? Pamela, Transporter, Pookie, anything at all? Like, does anybody see anything with these pictures? I mean, I can pretty much tell you what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They moved her so no one would find her at first. She was interrogated. She didn't give them the info they wanted. Then Paul carried out the unaliving.
No, honey, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. It was a hit. I see the house on opposite side under renovation. Wait, huh? Hold on. You've seen this house somewhere, Pamela? Yeah, the other one was the caravan gate, exactly. And the other one was the gate to the whatchamacallit. I see the house on opposite side under renovation. So that's what I'm saying. You've seen this house somewhere, Pamela? Paul is deeply involved. Sammy says, I feel the same way. Yes, it reminds me of the big house on the opposite side of the river being renovated. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Molly, when did you draw these pictures? We do this every time. I think it was a brick building. That's not the Marsh farmhouse, is it? It sits in front of by the gate there. Opposite. Okay, I got you. I see what you're saying, Pam. How old are these, Molly? Over a month ago. Okay. Anyway, we have this one, that gate. That gate. That's the kissing gate, isn't it?
That one has looks like it has a CCTV camera.
Okay. And then we have this guy. If Marsh Farm is not as tall, lower the windows. That's what I was saying. Is it reminded me a little bit of the house in front there at Marsh Farms, which I could probably find a bit. Well, it's in this video somewhere. We'll look at it. Let's see who that is. Thank you, Heather. All right, CC. I'll see you then, hon. Thanks for joining us. All
Bye,
right, guys.
CC.
Thank you so much, Molly dear. That's just weird. I get a weird feeling when I look at that. I don't know. Okay, folks. All right, back to where we were. Thank you so much, Molly dear. I'm glad I have these. All right, let's pull this back up real fast. Let Becky finish saying what she's saying. I swear they showed that house too. One moment.
All had anything whatsoever to do with it. Let me make that clear. But something has to make sense for her behavior. Then do her department on its face in the facts of the case to begin with on January 27th, that first weekend when she was elected as the SIL on the case. Like everything we see now, it makes sense when she's a part of it. But then, how could they project that, right? It doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Considering this,
no worries, Molly.
There's something still off with Becky. How? Why is she doing this? The 15th presser. Why? I don't think she's involved, had anything whatsoever to do with it. Let me make that clear. But something has to make sense for her behavior. And then I think I got it. She said immediately Nicola was considered a high-risk misper, right?
That means high-risk missing persons for those of you that may not have got that.
Then remember, Paul was the one already starting way back, suggesting that she was really organized that morning, right? She was so fixated on that being the only option. Here's my thing. I think there's one of two ways. Either she had a reason to look no further, and I'll explain that as we go, or it was just considered that because they bought too much into it. The partner was sending a welfare check and all that. And considering the murder clearance rate in the UK being 90%, they tend to choose which are considered murders and which aren't. There tends to be a trend over there in the UK that if someone goes missing and they're drowning, they don't really look into it too much.
And see, I said a while back that based on what this fool here told them, okay, and what they got from it, then she didn't feel that they had to look any further. But as a detective, I find it hard that she did that. Okay. And that after that, at this point now, to save the integrity of the police department, you kind of have to keep going with this now. I mean, that could very well be it. She's a detective, for God's sakes, guys. I can't, like, to me, I feel like at this point now, it's like all or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I have to just go with it now. Okay, so I showed that Facebook page on February 17th. So I'm thinking I did them between February the 15th and the 14th. Wow. Okay.
And Sammy said that's the house she was in.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? But I have two other ones that I think are connected to Nicola and the other cases in the UK. I'm ready to get them when you're ready to send them, dear. Like I said, I do not doubt any of this stuff. I don't. Not after what I've seen with you guys. I can't. So I don't even know what to say. This has me so hell bent. We didn't go. I know I keep interrupting, but I'm trying to go through this with you guys, all of it at the same time. Somebody there, Sammy says they took her in there, Molly, into that house that was being renovated, Pamela says, on the other side of the river.
Bye, Heather. I'll talk to you later. Hon.
Or deliberately intentional. It's because drownings are really hard to
All right,
determine,
Heather.
and I'll show you
Thanks,
that.
hon.
So I got back to further evaluation, really thinking about that aspect. Remember I discussed the death investigation chart, the medical investigation of homicide, the red box line that you see in the bottom right there. And I kind of showed how the home office pathologist awaiting, the forensic maybe implied there's a criminal investigation. But here's the problem. There's no police investigation. They're adamant about that. They've been adamant about no third party, no third party, no third party. They really bought into that river. They really bought into the accident and the suicide. Now, is that because they honestly interpreted it as that and now they're humiliated to admit they were wrong? Or is there a reason why the Becky Smiths of the world stepped in, accepted that, and has personal reasons to not look much further? Looking back at the National Library of Medicine, let me explain this quickly to you. While there may be initial presumption that all water-related deaths are accidental, other possibilities must be considered in the investigation of these types of deaths, as drowning as a cause of death is a diagnosis based on the exclusion of all other potential causes. The coordinated investigative efforts of multiple agencies and disciplines are required, not only for the designation as drowning as the cause of death, but also for the death certification.
All right, Sam, thanks,
In my
hon.
opinion,
This is what the
Sammy.
coroner is doing.
using people that
Thank
you're
you
going
for
to
your
call
input so
as
much.
witnesses
At the inquest to justify as to
What in the actual hell was that? That sounded like a smoke detector. I am now deaf. Good Lord. Yeah. Yeah, that was a smoke alarm for sure. God, that hurt.
her movements and how she drowned. You notice what I pointed out earlier in the article was important.
They specifically said they were along the banks after the weir. Now that it's been shown that she can't go over the weir, they're going to come up with some narrative that she walked out down the towpath and went in that way. That's what's happening. And why are they doing this? Because everything we've done here on YouTube has shown that just a narrative doesn't matter. The coroner, I'm not saying he's involved with Becky. I'm just saying he's doing his due diligence, studying everything himself to lead it probably to a misadventure, right? Water-related deaths are prematurely and unconsciously labeled as accidental drownings. While this is often the case, the presumption.
Sorry, everybody. We call that our cooking alarm.
Your what?
We call it our cooking alarm, not our smoke alarm. It's super sensitive, and every time we use the oven and cook a pizza, it goes off.
Okay.
The kids were cooking a pizza and
It went
a
off.
cooking alarm. Sorry.
Between you scaring me and that going off, I don't think I'll be getting here for a while. Damn. That was loud. At least I can sleep at night knowing you guys are safe if there was ever a fire. Good God, that's loud. If you don't wake up through that, then shit. That was. I thought it was coming from him
Oh.
at first, and then I looked around to mine too. Like, what? That was loud. All good. We're good.
We're good.
Yeah, at least we know that they're going to enjoy some pizza here soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That a body recovered from within
or
or
near
near
a body of water is an accidental drowning can hinder timely recognition of indicators of foul play and other important clues were present in and around the death scene. Thus, in turn, may ultimately lead to false conclusions regarding cause and manner of death. This article here, drowning and crime. Drowning is difficult to prove beyond the accidents of death stage simply because of the nature in which it happens. Proving that an unknown assailant in some way aided the death of another by drowning is difficult to establish and can usually only be so if there are physical wounds such as cuts or bruises, or indeed if any eyewitness has saw the event take place. The pathologist will attempt to reconstruct what happened by first determining what did happen. This may sound a little contradictory, but it is the easiest way to rule out anything other than accidental death. Quite simply, the pathologist has been asked to autopsy a body that was found in water but does not have any physical injuries or problems with heart disease. Then the most likely conclusion is that the death was caused by drowning and is then listed as death by misadventure. Drowning is the death caused by asphyxiation due to fluid blocking the airway. In the practice of forensic medicine, it is the key to determine whether the corpse was drowned or entered the water after death. At the same time, the drowning site inference and post-mortem submersion interval play an important role in investigating the identity of the deceased, narrowing the investigation scope, and solving the case. This is the problem. They don't know when she died, right? I don't think they do, because I think it's suspicious, and I think Paul and Emma are involved. With that said, if she dies way back January 27th range, 26th, 25th, by the time she's found in that water on the 23rd when she was placed there, they're not going to be able to get an accurate post-mortem submersion interval as far as how long it's been since after she's been dead. See what I'm saying? Those calculations are going to be that much harder to come by as time moves on.
By the way, guys, there's been a couple people that have been coming at me with things on this story too, by the way. Because I had talked about January 10th multiple times, right? Somebody came at me and said, "Hey, Dago, what if she's been gone since the 10th of January?" And I looked back to see if anybody had said anything about actually seeing her, whether it be her family or whatnot, other than the fact that she supposedly spent the night with her parents the night before. I couldn't find anything. I can't say anything as far as that goes. I'm not saying that I believe that, but I've had that come at me. I've also had, or the 11th. I've also had people saying, and I don't like this theory. I really don't. And I'll explain it, but I'm not going to go anywhere with it because I don't believe it. That when I was talking about this stuff with, thank you, Molly dear. Sorry, April. That the, what was I saying? Oh my God, I hate when this happens because I got 5 things running through my head at one time. That the reason why Becky was doing this was that maybe her and Paul were kind of seeing each other. And I said, I really don't think so. I'm pretty sure I saw a wedding ring on her finger. And I will not give an affair. I can't give a police detective giving up their job over an affair. That doesn't fit to me. So whoever that was that sent me, it was I wasn't familiar with the name. Somebody that watches us without coming in chat, I'm guessing. I said, I appreciate it, but I can't go with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've had a couple things that were sent to me like that I don't go down those holes because that's a killer rabbit down them holes. I don't want nothing to do with that. But I've had these theories thrown at me like this, that she may have been gone since the 10th or the 11th, the day after that they went out there for that. But Pamela said, "Oh, it happens." I'm sure it does, man. Listen, I've seen things being in the fire service that you guys would never believe. I'm telling you. And that's another thing. I watched this morning that there are Lancashire police officers being looked at and investigated right now as we speak. One in general for having relationships with victims of other crimes that they have been involved in as officers, and then they go and they take advantage of these people who have been victimized in some sort, and they're not allowed to do that as law enforcement officers. And then there's another officer that's being looked into right now who is being looked at for possibly SAing a victim of a crime that he investigated as well.
Oh my God.
So there's things going down around, okay? And which is probably why Pam said, "Oh, it happened." So, and she just said that as well. And they're being looked at right now. I watched videos on it this morning. So who knows, folks?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to. Maybe it's because I did have the little boy crush on Becky, whatever it was. I just want to look at her and give her the respect as a detective that I think she deserves. It's very hard right now. Very hard because of what's going on. So Pam said, "Joe, don't look into the right." That's who she worked for, was the Met Police. So I got it. And
Molly, I agree with you 100%. And I think they will be.
I think the ones in Moscow, Idaho, need looked at for the Idaho 4 case. The ones as in what? LE officers?
Mm.
Oh, yeah. Moscow, sorry for anybody that lives in Idaho, but Moscow's dirty, folks. They are dirty. There's something dirty about that, and I've said that for a long time. Something's not right with it, okay? That's a whole...
You had the Christ Church, for one.
Yeah.
That owns the whole town.
Right. And I'm sure that there's officers that are on the police force that go to that church.
Oh, yeah.
Or belong to that church, because that church owns people. They don't have parishioners. They have people that they own. So Moscow PD. Yeah, no, I got you, Molly. Thank you, hon. And I agree with you. I really do. And that's a whole other thing we're getting into. Yeah, right. I know you're in Idaho, and I wish you weren't, but other than the fact that it's beautiful there, I do think it's beautiful. I just don't like Moscow. So, but yeah, we're going to get into that here another day, but moving on. And thank you, Pam, for your insight into this as well. Because I'm just saying, guys, people have sent me things and I'm like, I don't want to believe that. But at this point, what are you going to do? You know?
Like I said, remember, I do think Paul and Emma are involved to some extent in regards to the actual truth as to what actually happened to Nicola. And it wasn't that she went missing, wasn't...
That's Marsh Farm, the house I was thinking about in Marsh Farms. It doesn't really look like the red house, but it is stone. That's made out of stone. It's not really red, though. And Pam says that house is the one that's on the other side of the river that is being renovated. But
that's a black and white picture, so
yeah, I think the house and color, the stones are like a tannish brown and white type colors. Corruption and many other offenses are rife. I'm sure. I agree. I do. But that's the house that I was thinking at first. It just seems a little different than what Molly's drawing was. I know, Molly. I'm saying I saw it in color, hon. Like the stones are like a tan and a light tan and like a little bit of white and some browns. It's not very dark. But again, it's a drawing based on, something that your mind's showing you. So who knows? The one under renovation is huge and old in its own grounds. Okay. If you could find a picture of that one, Pam, I'd love to see it just for reference reasons. I really would. You could just send it to me like you normally would, or whether it's Discord or email or whatever. She says this one right here, Molly, is the Marsh Farms. That's Emma's property, her family's property there. Okay. And this is the same place that I said this farm backs right up to the river. Whereas at 3:00 in the morning, if you wanted to, you could go right through the back field and pull right up to that river and dump a body if you had to. Okay. I followed that on the map and found it right there and was like, I'll be damned. So yeah. But if Pam, if you have a way to find a picture of the house you're talking about and you could send it, I would love to see it just for a reference point on the one that she drew, just out of curiosity. If not, no big deal. Don't stress yourself about it, but I'd love to see it.
Found then appeared. In a nutshell, this is the police's narrative, despite the logical fallacies riddled throughout. With this in mind, also considering the opening video with Becky, her specialties: digital investigators, analysts, surveillance, organized crime. Let us dig a little deeper and see what this means. So I went and looked at a video of UK corruption, and Officer Neil Woods here was a former undercover police officer who investigated corruption within policing. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going on. Hear me out. He says, in general, we rely on the police as the rule of law. And he says that is them acting in our interest. When that deviates and they act on their own or someone else's interest, this is technically corruption. He says criminals need corrupt officers, someone who can alter a surveillance log. He gave us an example, which I thought was interesting. He says corrupt officers can also interfere with an investigation, make a case fail at court. Oh, that's interesting. And then this other guy comes in and he explains corruption this way. Anything that deviates from the oath. Police the public without fear or favor. Fear. Don't look after people who are important to the exclusion of other people or those that seem so. That's fear. Favor. Bribes. Corruption. Anything that deviates from the oath. Police the public without fear or favor. So it kind of creates like a nice little idea. You know, people say corruption, they think it's the worst of the worst. No, if it's dishonest and fraudulent, it can be considered corrupt, right? And then he does mention in here, police officers sometimes commit noble cause corruption, which is to catch the bad guy. So what that means is, did they, like he uses as an example to where he busted someone for a kilo of cocaine, but he kind of talked him up to sell him that much. And this guy didn't usually sell him kilos. So he talked him up to a kilo. So what did this guy do? This guy went and cut the kilo with a bunch of other stuff to balloon the amount up to make it look like a kilo. Sold it, and he got time in jail for a kilo amount, but by purity, it wasn't even half that. He says in here he feels bad about that, but you can see he kind of do whatever you can to kind of bolster the case, right? In turn, there's a problem with officers who do this because it opens them up to manipulation and blackmail. They become puppets to organized crime. This became interesting to me because if you remember, Becky had a large drug bust, 2018 was it? And there was an Ansel and a Rothwell.
Imagine that. Did you hear that?
Yep.
2018, Becky had a huge drug bust, and there was a James Rothwell and a Mark Ansel. Interesting. Yeah, any of these people look like Paul? The Carlos gang smuggled heroin and crack cocaine into the town from Merseyside area. That's interesting. Very interesting. Wow. Mark Ansel. We'll have to look up what Mark Ansel is.
Yep.
We don't know yet, Pam. I had just found this out too. So I'm going to be finding out as fast as I can, though. I promise you that much. And especially that and the Rothwell, too. I want to know who both of them are. James Rothwell and Mark Ansel. I'm sure Molly's probably already digging.
Molly said middle bottom row.
Right here. Actually, if you put hair on his head, he's kind of got those eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. We'll find out.
Drug bust. Isn't that interesting? And the inquest on the guy that was found by Rothwell then, held in the same coroner's court, was determined by misadventure. And the original reports were that there was two guys with him on a bridge. You get the point. Could that be something that maybe she acted noble cause? You know, Paul's aware of that in baiting her to say something because then he can flip on her for this. That puts Becky in a position of she's best just considering an accident or suicide, or else she's going to face humility. You get what I'm saying?
Blackmail. Very possible. Unreal. Actually, hold on a minute.
And
With the
the fact
name,
that Rothwell's there, isn't that?
are those names? Where did that picture go? Where is that picture? James Rothwell and shit.
Held in the same coroner's report was determined by misadventure. And the original reports were that there was 2 guys with him on a bridge. You get the point. Could that be something that maybe looked like a kilo? So that he got time in jail for a kilo amount, but by purity, it wasn't even half that. He says in here he feels bad about that, but you can see he kind of do whatever you can to kind of bolster the case, right? In turn, there's a problem with officers who do this because it opens them up to manipulation and blackmail.
Yes, Molly, it did.
To organized crime. This became interesting to me because if you remember, Becky had a large drug bust. 2018 was it? And there was an Ansel in Rothwell.
Okay, are these in order bottom left to right? What the hell? Where did it go? What is blocking it? Oh, the words. Hold on.
Yeah, the captions.
Okay, now we can do it. Bottom left to right. Carrie Smith. That's Mark Ansel right there.
Right next to him is James Rothwell.
And that's Rothwell. Okay. Yeah, that's Mark. That's the Ansel guy. And he does have those eyes.
Now look at the picture of Molly's drawing of the guy. Can you show that again?
Oh, shit. Huh. Yeah, hold on a minute. 1 second.
I think he said 2018, Molly.
Yeah, it was 2018. A little more hair on top, but that's pretty weird.
Shadow or something, though.
Yeah, it's true too.
Depending on, what was going on when she saw it in her dream.
That's crazy. And you said you sent me more, Molly? Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. These are the other pictures she sent. I know we thought the one of the pond was that missing mom the other day, but I feel like it is in the UK. And the guy in the other one does too. He is looking at the computer with a bunch of different videos playing on it, like a bunch of different cameras. Like CCTV camera type stuff. Wow, okay. Yep. That would make sense. I got you. Okay. No, not yet. I have a few more. They're just not finished. Well, these were still. That does make sense. And the square on the wall is a window. Right. Okay. And that, yeah, no, I got you. That makes sense. These drawings kill me, and how like close and on point and with things that you guys are. That's kind of weird. That's definitely weird. Oh no, did I lose that video? Son of a boo boo.
Whoops.
Hold on. One second. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay, here we go. That was way.
Oh. And a drug bust. Isn't that interesting? And the inquest on the guy that was found by Rothwell then, held in the same coroner's court, was determined by misadventure. And the original reports were that there was 2 guys with him on a bridge. You get the point. Could that be something that maybe she acted noble cause? You know, Paul's aware of that in baiting her to say something, because then he can flip on her for this. That puts Becky in a position of she's best just considering an accident or suicide, or else she's going to face humility.
Blackmail, like I said.
You get what I'm saying? And the fact that Rothwell's there, isn't that kind of interesting? Right? Could this be all designed by Paul? You know? And then, which I also found was interesting, it kind of helps me tie things.
Could it be all designed by Paul and Nikki knew something about it, and that was a problem, just like Dustin said.
Yeah.
That could be a motive in itself, or it could just have been a domestic violence situation that went too far and has been being covered up. It could be any one of those, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Okay, Molly. Back to the email. I'm trying. Molly's on her thing now. I can almost smell it.
No.
I smell the smoke. I don't think I even got it yet, Mo. Hold on. Wait. All right. I did get it. Let's see. Open for me. Sure is. It sure as hell is. Is this Mark Ansel? It sure as hell is.
Mm-hmm. Ew. He gives me the creeps more than Paul.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Whether they're related or not, just ugh. Ew. Very creepy looking, Molly. Ew.
There's something about him that ain't right.
Yeah.
No friends?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm sure that's probably been scrubbed.
Yeah.
He definitely gives creep.
I'm telling you, I think that's who was in her drawing.
It definitely could look like him. I'm sure his head's not always that bald. He does have hair on there at times when he's got to shave it.
She said she sent you another one. He's got 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm going to it right now. Yeah, this guy's definitely a creeper. He's got that same dead look in his eyes like Paul does.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hmm. They have a resemblance. Am I wrong?
I think they do.
I mean, the eyes. There's something about the eyes. I can see it. I'm just saying. Wait, Cherry Tree Road, Manchester Southward. Yeah, I can see a bit of a resemblance for sure. One second, folks.
E.T. phone home. Sorry, guys. It just popped in my head. Oh, he's just. Ew. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Gross. Oh.
Mama_Brandy said iTikTok.com.
Mama Brandy sent something. Hey, Derek. No problem, bud. He's on the phone. He'll be back in a minute. Trying to look at this creepy dude's pictures. You joined Aikido this past Friday. What's that? And I probably did not even say that right. Probably not even close. Is that one of the groups or whatever you were talking about, like the undercover stuff? Oh, okay. Gotcha. I should have known that by the. Yeah. Very cool. My younger daughter wants to do karate or something. We just can't afford it right now, which sucks.
This is a reminder.
But
Eat dinner.
we'll figure something out eventually. They had a thing here when they were younger. I think it was till they were like 7. It was called Crouching Tigers, and it was at the library, but it taught them just basic what am I trying to say here? Sorry, guys, I'm tired. self-defense. There we go. Techniques and things. Trying to remember some of them that they learned. Can't remember. Yeah, it is, Kim. Yeah, it is. And it's not something that, you want to watch YouTube videos to learn, because you'll hurt yourself real quick.
Okay, sorry. What's up, Derek? Sent you another one. He has two. Okay, I got it. Cool. Thank you, Molly. Right,
Say hi to Derek. Did you say hi to Derek?
I did say hi to Derek. Hello again, Derek. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have to hop off. Long. It's almost 5 o'clock, sir. You have another show in 2 hours.
I need to bring it down too. So at this point, guys, I mean, we can catch this back up, the rest of this, maybe tomorrow, and just finish it off and move into another thing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining me today. Mama Bear, thank you for joining me. Like I said, guys, there's a lot to look at and to think about with this, because it's just what it is. There's no other way to look at it. You know what I mean? And at this point, not only do I want to know the truth, I want to know why we're not getting the truth, or why we didn't get the truth, in my opinion. Okay. So we will pick this back up, like I said, tomorrow. Don't forget about tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the true story behind. Yeah, neither did I. This was a long video. The story behind the Wonderland murders. Be here, be there, be square. Hope to see you guys, or as many of you as I can. Besides that, have a good couple hours, because it's just going to be a couple hours, and I'll see you right back here again. Thank you guys for sticking with me, but it's definitely informative, interesting, and once again, Mind Juice, he's on point, guys. I really do think he is. If you haven't subscribed, check him out. Please do. And if you like his videos, let him know. Say, hey, Dago sent me over here. We support you, because I think I do, at least, for sure.
Yeah.
Again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Mama Bear, thank you so much for being here with me.
Yep.
Love each and every one of you guys to death. You guys, for those of you that I won't be able to see.
Oh, you want to do that real fast?
Yeah, I do, actually.
I'm like, oh, hold on.
Did you send it, Pam, via email or to somewhere else? I didn't even see if you sent it. I'm sorry, hon.
I would say probably email, because nothing's come through on Discord for a few minutes.
Right. The photo I sent is like Molly's. I'm going to probably have to use the bathroom after this. That's what these pictures do to me.
Oh, Twitter, she said.
Oh, on Twitter? Okay. Let's see what we got. It was on straight. Okay, I got you. No problem. Thank you, Miss Pam, so very much. So, guys, this is going to be on my phone, because my computer's not upright with Twitter, so I can show it to you via the camera, though. So hold on 1 second. All right. Let's open this up. I'm kind of anxious. It's an aerial shot of it. It's big.
Yep, that looks like it.
It definitely has the same amount of windows and all of that. I'll be damned. The color is off, but what does that mean? Latest as abandoned
house. A different color, and it's still banned from Twitter. Poor Molly.
Yeah, it's okay, Molly. Yeah, that's pretty close, in my opinion. Wow, Molly. Okay. You guys are killing me with this. Thank you, Pamela, so very much. That Pam said that is across the street on the other side, the opposite side of the river, and it's being renovated. It's abandoned. It says that house was searched, but at this point, I don't know what to believe. So we will pick up the rest of this, guys, and finish this out along with some other things that go with it. And thank you all again for joining us, for being here. I hope you guys got something out of this, because I know I sure did. It was at night when I seen the dream in my, well, then there you go. Very perfectly good. That's the house that's being renovated over the river from where NB fell in. Supposedly, allegedly.
Right.
So, all right, guys. Again, love you guys to death. Thank you so very much. I got to run. Mama Bear, I will talk to you soon. Molly, I'm definitely going to be talking to you too.
Yep.
I'll talk to you guys here in a few hours. I love you guys. Have a great one. Don't forget to love each other and love yourselves. And I will see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Love you. See you in a couple hours.